Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Valpo Esports' stream of League of Legends versus Bethel College. Going into the series, Valpo is 6-3, Bethel 5-5. Right. Earlier today, at around like 2 o'clock, we did lose Series 1 against Manchester. So hopefully, Valpo looking to bounce back a little bit here. My name's Dikembe. I'm here with my co-host.
Keloids.
And I think going into this match, obviously with Valpo, we saw a lot of issues with vision control and kind of just like drafting champs. What are we really looking for here to make a change from that last series?
Uh, I think what we really need to look at is what side we're gonna play for. It's like we were drafting for bot side, but really playing towards that top side.
Hmm.
So we really needed to be decisive in what we're drafting and what we're playing for. So if we go into the game wanting to play for top side, we need to draft towards that. And if we're gonna play towards the bot side, we really need to draft for that. Also, first series, a lot of ban towards mid, so that can also change up this series. I don't know if um, what Bethel is planning on doing, if they're planning on targeting that mid lane like last series, but that will also have a huge effect on the draft and how this series plays out.
No, definitely. I think that the bans and picks that we see here are definitely more of a switch up, obviously. Bethel opting to ban two mids and that Mordekaiser from Anaya, which we know that she is very comfortable on that Mordekaiser in that top lane. But couple of draft wise, I mean, Valpo going with the first pick Maokai, and then Bethel responding with the Silas. Pretty strong picks, but then obviously Valpo, Caitlyn being a very comfortable ADC pick, and then Cass, we talked about this in Series 1, Silas not being as good in the Cass as, like, normal champs, because
Yeah.
it seems like Silas can sustain really hard, but Cassiopeia, especially with her ground against Silas E, and then being able to just chip away at damage and slowly kite him out, it's really one of the dangers of playing Silas into a champ with movement like that. Um, Bethel pulling out the Trundle and Sivir as well. I mean, three very strong picks, like in their own. I feel like Sivir has fallen off a little bit with this patch, especially with the light of like Misfortune and Aphelios slowly getting stronger. And then even, I mean, you can consider just other like I mean Caitlyn, like we said, that kind of range that you're offering, the move speed that Sivir gives, is good into this Caitlyn matchup, but she hasn't really found a spot in the meta as of right now since that Worlds patch.
Yeah, the Sivir is gonna have to watch out in lane, especially with this Maokai Caitlyn bot lane. Or actually, this Maokai's a flex. If it does go bot lane, it is a very poke heavy bot lane with Malakai's like little jungle pets that jump up at you,
Yeah,
and just the range that Caitlyn has. Um, but they are going to go with the Sivir Nautilus for Bethel in the bot lane. As you said, Sivir fell off pretty hard, but you still have to worry about her Q. Looks like it's going to be an Alistar, so that means that Maokai is going to either go top or jungle, or
and
go
we
the
see the
Taric.
Taric. So we know that Steamroller 14 likes to pick this Taric. A lot of the times he doesn't get the opportunity to, but I feel like with the Caitlyn, right, as an ADC player yourself, you should know that it's very important to peel for her, right?
Yeah, I think this Taric is especially a good pick because you're going against the Silas, Nautilus, and Trundle, three melee champions that want to jump up on you and get up on you, and that's what Taric really is good at, is when people want to run into him. Uh,
Looks like it's gonna be a Silas top lane for Bethel.
yeah, Silas top lane and an Orianna mid. Uh, that's probably like I don't know if their top laner does play Silas, but it might be um, an adjustment for the Cassiopeia
Hmm.
counter pick. The maybe the mid laner is like this is just a losing lane,
I
type of thing.
I think that the flex is important on that Silas first pick because,
Yeah,
like you said, I would much rather have a Silas into Garen pick rather
yeah,
than a Silas into Cass.
yeah,
While Garen is still really strong against Silas, I feel like there's more of a chance for him to actually be able to lane outside of Cassiopeia, right?
Yeah, the Silas is also a pretty good pick because he does have some pretty good ults to pick off of the Maokai, the
Hmm.
Cassiopeia, the Taric, even the Garen in the early stage of the game for the skirmish, the 1v1s, trying to get that execute early on in lane. So that is pretty good. Um,
Definitely.
uh, Pretty good pick. I mean, he picked it first pick, so he didn't really uh, like predict it, but still
Hmm.
good ults to steal from.
Yeah, I think that while I do lean on Valpo's draft, I do feel like Valpo got the better end of this draft going into this game. I feel like Bethel does have room to work, right?
Yeah.
They have a little bit of wiggle room for their comp because you do have that Trundle who's able to run people down. You have the Sivir to boost that Trundle in, especially with their ult and start to move people. Nautilus, you may see an early invade here, especially like considering this comp and the Oriana as more of like you can get that fast burst damage and then chip other people with her E. Or not chip, but heal other or shield other people with her E. Add the resistances that you get. Um, I feel like there is wiggle room there, but I think I like Valpo's draft better here. I mean, the Garen is an overall pick, right? Overall very strong pick. Especially like going into a less tankier build, right? Because considering the true damage that his ultimate gives is insane, plus his passive regen, it's really hard to win trades against him. So Silas is going to have to engage in order to try and win those trades by hitting his W, and I think that works in Garen's favor. The Maokai jungle, I mean, we've seen this before. You really just need tanks to peel, right? You have the Cass, you have the Caitlyn. Those are going to be your damages, and then Garen can run, right? You have your attention drag to allow your ADC and allow your mid lane kind of to fall behind and just shoot away. But I mean, as we're looking here, I don't see really like a lane priority that we're looking for because Oriana is not going to want to engage with Cass, right? We know
Yeah.
this. In this bot lane, it's going to be a little bit picky because Taric doesn't have much chip, right? We're not
Yeah.
because with Maokai we talked about earlier, he has the E to chip away, but with Taric he has to be able to get close, which it works out into a Nautilus, which is
Mhm.
great. But it's gonna be a little bit of a stalemate because as he walks up Nautilus is also. So I think the only like fighting lane that we really should see here is this top lane. It's gonna be scrappy, but I don't feel like there are going to be many 2v2s happening early on, especially with the sustain that Taric has and the kind of shield and getaway that Nautilus gets from an engage.
Yeah, I think early on though, Valpo is going to want to play a more aggressive bot lane with this Caitlyn. She is very, very strong
Hmm.
first 15 minutes in that laning phase, especially with Taric who can back her up,
Yep.
with that shield in the healing. Um, this is also like when Nautilus is going to be his strongest, right? Because this early mid game, because later game, once you get there, Nautilus is just one of those champions. Like you hook in and you engage, and you're probably just gonna die for it.
Yep.
You don't really have an escape or anything, and you're not really tanky enough to to really get out of those situations. So
Hmm.
you're kind of just going in just to die in these situations. But both teams did draft a lot of damage.
Yep.
Damage top, mid and ADCs, a lot of damage out for both teams.
Definitely no like well we have scalers here. It's definitely a lot um more of an early to mid game kind of. I
Yeah,
don't see this game going longer than like 30 minutes, I'd say. Yeah, I'm not that a majority of games do, but I think it's to the benefit of both teams if whoever gets that lead just decides to start putting it away.
yeah, because yeah, the later you go for both teams, it looks scary
Yeah.
for both teams.
the
So
the harder it is going to be to actually obtain a lead
yeah,
because these comps are somewhat neutral in their scaling. So I feel like if you're going to get a lead, you want to take advantage of your mid to early fight champs, right? Because at late game, both of these teams, their leads are just going to nullify. But
yeah, I think. if you're Caitlyn here, you want to get ahead in the early game because
Mm,
if things stay stagnant and you're kind of even going into the mid game, Sivir has a much better early game than you and hits her power spikes much earlier than you do as Caitlyn.
yep.
And so you're kind of just like it doesn't really feel good to play Caitlyn in that like 15
Mm,
to 30-minute mark, but once you hit that 30-minute mark, you're starting to get your items, and then you start finally doing damage to where the champion actually feel good. So
yeah.
I feel
Because
like if you're Valpo, you really need to get ahead in that early game.
I definitely agree with you. You need to give that Caitlyn because I mean you talked about the power spikes that Sivir and Caitlyn have. I would say like Sivir is a two item,
Yeah,
right? You get two items, you're ready to go. Caitlyn, you really need to look for like maybe your third, maybe a rapid fire cannon, something to extend that range a little bit more so that you can really start chipping away at people because that combo of especially like later in the game with rapid fire cannon getting the energized extra range that you have, right? That being able to walk up headshot E, headshot, and then R back. And that's enough to kill like a squishy late game, right? So I definitely agree with you that Sivir does get her power spike earlier, but if you're able to boost this Caitlyn up, it's going to be a lot harder for Bethel to get back in this game.
yeah. Um, it is going to be interesting if that's how Vapo decides to play it with pathing of the junglers. If they decide to pat down, if Vector decides to pat down towards that bot lane to try to give that Caitlyn a lead, um, it's going to be interesting to because I think both team or both bot lanes. I think the Caitlyn has a bit of advantage for the push just with her range, but I mean it is going to be quite even with the Sivir Q being able to shove waves like that.
Yep. I mean, definitely, I've Sivir has much better wave clear when it
Yeah,
comes to fighting, right? And especially when she hits those items, it's going to be really hard to start out farming her. But Caitlyn has that early fight potential. And I think that's kind of where Valpo needs to play this here. Is it's that you know that you're going to win those fights in that early game because you have the healing from Taric, you have the close range engage, and you have just the better damage ratios for that early game. So you can't play this like scaling game unless you're confident knowing that you can take it. And it looks like starting off in this game, Bethel is going to have a jungle invade, a bit of a five-man, but they are going to walk over a blue ward here, or blue team ward, and a couple of pings going out as well, showing hey that I mean they're at Krugs,
yeah,
and Bethel may just walk into this uncontested here. They might just give.
yeah. This is good for Valpo. They place a good ward to see the invade. I mean, you kind of have to expect it. With the Nautilus, he's so powerful, level one with that hook, and his passive lockdown. But they do see people backing up. So, but good for Valpo to get out of there and make sure they don't feed any kills
Mm,
uh,
Just
to Bethel.
just a little unsuccessful. Um, I'm rocking with that Garen skin. Hold on. I don't think I've ever seen that one. That's crazy. He's got the little shoulder plate on and everything too. That's cold. That's cold. But no, unsuccessful invade from Bethel, but nothing you can do. I mean, no harm, no foul, nothing wasted. Just walking over a couple of wards. They got to ward deep as well. Um, and we're really just starting this game. I mean, another Q start coming from Cass. Um, we'll see that a lot of the times with the dynamic, and we're gonna have a pull here instantly. The stun missing on Sivir, so they're gonna win that trade a little bit. But we're gonna see with Cass kind of matchups that you see in this mid lane. If you think that you need to farm, you need to go E start, right?
Yeah.
But if you think that you can win an early fight, you're going Q start. That's always what happens here. So we're seeing that, I mean, Jakimbo playing with a little bit of confidence here. Their bot lane is hitting level 2 first, but level 2 hit right back from Valpo. A yoink from that Nautilus pulling, and it's going to be a little bit of scrappy here. Ordinal still hasn't hit level 2 yet. Taric has. So it's going to be a little bit dangerous. And as we're seeing in this top lane, right, there's going to be a lot of engages. He's looking for a dash, looking for an E here, playing around the minions. But that passive healing that he gets is just going to be enough to maybe get this kill here. Flash and First Blood going to Anaya. Good engage there. Silas just kind of overestimating how much he really healed. because especially being only level 2, you have that W, but it's not enough,
Yep.
right? Your level, when your W is maxed out, that's when Silas becomes like a really, really strong champion. But earlier in this game, Garen passive is just going to outrange that as long as he's out of that combat.
Yeah. And then we also see a good. We do. Oh,
And there's an
there's that.
engage here, and we're going to see if this poison ticks off Oriana. It looks like it won't, but it's very close to.
Yeah, she was very low there.
Mm-hmm.
But you do see that Trundle coming down to the bot lane to try to counteract what was happening top lane. But Valpo did pretty good to see that coming and make sure they play safe in their tower.
Definitely. I mean, like we said, this is what we wanted out of Valpo, right? We wanted them to fight. We wanted them to play and start getting aggressive here with these early game champs. And we're seeing, I mean, Anaya's taking a good job doing that in the top lane. The bot lane, even though they are taking those engages, Nautilus hitting a couple of those hooks, but overall working out in their favor again. They're playing into how they should with this draft, and it's looking good so far. If they keep this up, I have no doubt that this game will definitely go in their favor.
Yeah, the problem with Nautilus in this case against the Caitlyn is you can hook the Taric, but you just give free autos to Caitlyn.
Yep.
And when you're walking away,
And it looks like we have a gank here on top lane, trying to get it. We'll see the W healing Silas up a little bit, and I being forced to back up. The flash coming from Trundle in the eat, but it's not going to be enough, and Naya gets away.
yeah, that's a flash down from the Trundle. That's pretty big. Um, Good from Anaya, just staying alive,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that she doesn't give anything away. Uh, didn't you? I mean, she didn't even have flash herself, and she still got away.
Yep.
But getting that flash out of Trundle is really big.
Mm.
But we are gonna
But
see.
what
Uh,
we gotta be looking for here is Vector's presence on the map now.
yeah,
I mean, we've spotted Trundle in top lane, we spotted Trundle in bot lane, right? But during this time, I mean, it's allowed Vector to kind of move around this map, have a little bit of free range. So I feel like he understands that this jungle is going to be very aggressive, and he's playing more for the counter.
yeah.
But I mean,
Uh,
first drag is up. I don't see that really any like wave pressure. Mid is gonna try and dive this here, but as we can see, Trundle is invaded on blue side jungle.
yeah, he did take that Gromp and the Wolves, but we'll see what the Maokai can do here on the
Looks like
Oriana.
you might
Oh,
have
the
a
ground
root here, but
miss.
the ground
But
just
here,
ranges out, and here comes Trundle pulling it in. Uh, Trundle, I'm not sure about this fight, getting the level up there, so now it's a little bit even, but Vector being able to root over neat, or
got the level 6 from Jakimbo.
yep, just out of range, being able to hit that R. If he hits that R there, that may be a kill, but I mean, you win some, you lose some, right?
Yeah, this is looking like Valpo now want to take this pressure and go to the Dragon and take this Dragon. They do have a push on mid and a push in bot, so they do have prio on the two important lanes for this Dragon.
Looks like Nautilus and Sivir kind of walking up a little bit, trying to keep this wave from crashing, because as we can see, Valpo is already on drag here. They're probably going to rotate over, try and get some vision, and then just take the back. And it looks like, yep, they are taking the back here. Not much you can do, really, especially with mid prio, with Cass being able to move down, with bot lane almost crashing wave. Overall, just like good communication on Valpo's side.
Yep, very good communication. We are going to see the Maokai go back to mid to see what he can get. Maybe get another, maybe get a gank off. He does get
He gets
the,
the root on the Oriana. He's walking, but I mean, that's 4 people for Oriana. I don't see a spot where Oriana gets out of this fight. She does pull the R nicely, and she might be able to run away, but I mean, as we see, Valpo is splitting up right now. She is out of mana. I don't see this ending well for her. Maybe if she waits it out long enough, she can get the execute off.
this is going to
Which
be
she may be able
close.
to get off the execute, the flash, and the kill to MF Jakimbo. Rough.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a good flash. That would have had to been close for the execute. So just get that kill secured.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, still, or I mean, at least Oriana did get caught out there, but she did force a flash
yeah,
from MF Jakimbo trying to secure that kill. But MF Jakimbo did pick up the Dark Seal right before that, so he's gonna start stacking up now. I mean, if we're looking at it, got a little bit like Trundle has been moving around this map, right? He's had the presence on the map. It's just been really unsuccessful for him. But even then, I mean, he is farming a lot stronger right now than this
Yeah.
Trundle is, and I think, or than this Maokai is, and it's due to those invades. I mean, we're gonna see here, Steamroller does get ignited, but the flash getting him away safely here.
That pillar actually kind of just trolled the
Tried the
Nautilus a bit.
Nautilus, yeah.
Yeah, he went for the hook and it kind
Oh,
of get
and
caught.
there's the hook again, but the stun on the Nautilus as well. Steamroller kind of relying on his heal here, but it's not going to be enough as Trundle does secure the kill on another gank here. I mean, we were just talking about it being unsuccessful, and there's the payoff that we were looking for. Trundle picking up his first kill of the map. I think that was his second bot lane visit.
Yeah. Trundle before that really didn't have much to say for his roaming, but he finally it finally pays off with that kill. But if you look at the goal difference right now, it was about 200, and most of that goal difference is on the Trundle with that CS diff that he has and that kill. But Valpo doing good, recognizing that the Herald is now free, so they do pick up that free Herald.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean,
and
we're seeing Vector play a lot more of an objective game
yeah,
this match. We haven't really seen him much in lane. He's been more focused on getting those scuttles, getting those objectives than really like farming. So we'll have to see. I mean, he's probably just playing to try and get that advantage to his team. We're gonna see here a little bit of an engage from Steamroller as well. 6 being hit on Sivir, Sivir popping that ult as well. But, I mean, you're going to see just a ton of damage in their bot lane getting split up here. We're probably going to see the Nautilus pull himself around. Just getting out of that. I think what's so dangerous about that, especially
ooh,
MF Jackimbo picking up a solo kill in this mid lane by catching that Orianna on that corner. Um, I think what we're going to see is so dangerous about this bot lane is that you have the Taric who likes to jump in, and it's so deceiving because you watch him and he goes low, but then it seems like he stays low forever because his Q constantly procs. So,
not only just a thing to note, not only did Jacimbo get that solo kill, he also got that the Herald dropped in his lane, so he did get those tower plates.
yep.
But now he does have to watch out for that. Oh, she is very, very low. Does manage to survive. Um, but going back to that 2v2 bot lane, it seemed like the communication was a little bit off of who to focus. It seemed like Tarek was going on the Nautilus, and the Caitlyn was going on the Sivir. But
You have a huge gank here, but a huge R from MF Jacimbo. The flash from Trundle trying to get up, and the Orianna getting the shutdown. Maokai R coming in a little bit too late here, and not going to be able to really do much. I mean, that is the nice thing about playing Orianna mid lane is that that R sets up ganks so well. As long as you just hit it, it allows your jungler to move in and kind of get that secure kill, even if that did force the flash out of Trundle.
yeah, great gank by Bethel, setting that up, especially from the mid laner with that Orianna R, like you said. Um, Quite unfortunate for Jacimbo. He also hit Jacimbo also hit a nice R.
Mhm.
Just couldn't get away.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, I also want to like take a little bit of attention to this top lane as well. I talked about how Silas really becomes that strong champion that we know him at that 5 stacks, and he has hit level 9. And he does have that maxed out, and you're seeing it's a lot harder for Anaya to trade now against him because he does have that W cooldown.
yeah, but
Here's
we
a
are gonna
huge
see
engage coming
fight.
down. Orianna and Nautilus jumping over the wall with Sivir, being able to get that kill. Probably a double kill here as well. Bethel playing that fight really well, being able to jump out, kind of take advantage of the vision that they have.
Yeah, that Terrico didn't go off in time to save Steamroller, so he does end up falling, and it is quite unfortunate that Vector fell to that. But it is a good pickup by Bethel to realize that they do have a winning fight there with numbers.
Hmm.
Um, so being able to pick the fight there and getting the dragon for it.
Yeah, I think we're seeing Maokai kind of fall off a little bit, especially regarding this Trundle, just because this pressure that Trundle has had in these kind of lanes. But I mean, we're looking for objectives here. We need those fights. A little bit of a trade here going in this top lane. I mean, very scrappy, right? Very aggressive. We talked about this.
A lot of
Um,
damage on the Q there.
mhm. It looks like Trundle is hovering this mid lane, waiting for Cass to kind of engage here. I mean, so far, we talked about Valpo being aggressive, right? And taking fights on their own terms. But Bethel has kind of been flipping that script a little bit. Being able to hop over, take like the aggressive, take the advantage when it comes to the vision that they have. And it was kind of exactly why Valpo was getting those first early trades, those early shots off. Because they
Caitlyn
were
has to
being
be
aggressive.
careful here. She is getting collapsed on by the Trundle
Yep.
and the Sivers.
And the
Good
flash over the wall as
flash.
well, but Maokai are going and missing. Maybe just expecting them to engage under tower a little bit more, kind of follow that up, but just a little bit of a misplay.
Good play by the jungler uh, for recognizing that Caitlyn was just out of place and knowing to walk up and just pillar and forcing the flash. It's actually huge. Um, but uh, yeah, Valpo's bot lane has been a bit aggressive, but as you can see by the 2-0 support, it really hasn't worked out uh, the best for them so far. Um, but you do expect towards like later in the games that their team fight should win out. Um, I mean, both have really good team fighting, but the Terrical and the Malkyle, uh, and even the Cassiopeia, all just really deadly, keeping people in their place, allowing that Caitlyn to get free hits and free damage down. It is
Definitely.
really big.
I agree with you. Um, I mean, it's kind of tough thinking about the fight dynamics of these two teams because
Yeah.
it's a lot of variability. Obviously, like with some comps, you see like Trundle going into big tanks, right? And you love that. And we might have an engage here as well. Emma Chikimbo hitting the R, almost killing the, almost killing Oriana there. But there are some comps where it's like, okay, Trundle into big tanks, right? Obviously, he's going to do better. But there's so many variables on this team. Like, for example, I mean, Silas, what R is he going to take? Oriana hitting her ult, being able to shield teammates. Nautilus being able to hit ults. Like, when does Sivir pop hers? And on Valpo's side, I mean, you have Garen. Who does he choose to get over the flash coming from Emma Chikimbo to secure, or to survive that pillar there? Um, and it looks like we're going to have a fight over Herald here with Garen jumping down as well. And the R coming down, MF Jakimbo securing that kill. The Maokai R coming out as well, being able to root the Silas and the Oriana, stopping them away. Tarek chasing them down with Trundle still in their backline though. A lot of damage focused on that Vector picking up that kill. Steamroller being able to flash back out of the Oriana and Silas, saving it and taking a 2-for-0 trade for Valpo.
Yeah, that was a great team fight for Valpo. Really working as a team and focusing on one person at a time. Really good communication, making sure they weren't split up, and giving them a chance to fight back. But you can just see the team fight early on already how strong Valpo is at team fighting with this comp. Um,
Hmm.
just uh, Bethel didn't really have an opening there to fight back.
I mean, as they're trying to like regame it or rejoin this kind of game here. Couple of fight, it's been pretty even, honestly. Right, we've had Dragon fights go Bethel's way, we've had Rift Herald fights go Valpo's way. Um, Overall, just like a pretty engaging game with the kind of like the fights that we're seeing right now. This is gonna be dangerous for Valpo as we have somebody from Bethel, the Nautilus hex flashing over, being able to jump on that Ordinal. Ordinal using E, but Nautilus pulling her back, but not following up on it. Doesn't matter though, as Sivir is going to secure that kill. The thing is though, we did have Tarek follow that Oriana on that left side, forcing that flash out. I mean, a good trade for Bethel there, especially considering that they are setting up for this dragon here.
Yeah, that was a really good pick. Uh, now Vapo just need to give up this Drake. Look to place this Rift Herald, right? Do something else on the map. You don't have this dragon. Your ADC is down. What else can you do on the map?
Unless Vector is looking for a flash here. Uh, No, Dragon did re-heal. Um, Not sure what we're going for here. Might have a flash, but I mean, the Dragon already got smited just a little bit. Maokai's a little bit of a chunky guy. He has to walk around that wall, but
Yeah, I don't really like that from the Maokai because it's only second dragon for Bethel, right? There's really no need to steal the dragon. It's not a game winning dragon, you know.
mhm.
So I rather him go somewhere else on the map and make a difference. You have that herald, you can open up the map
We're
in
gonna have an
places.
engage here as well. The R coming out from Tarek, and a lot of damage from this Caitlyn getting the double kill. The E getting her forward, stunning the Nautilus as he pulls away. Tarek just being able to run here. He's almost looking for another E, but it looks like Nautilus will get away. The snipe coming from Ordinal, not being able to hit it.
Yeah, this is probably where you're gonna see the herald do get dropped. Uh, Give this. Oh, we
And
are
there's
gonna
a
see a
kill
solo
for
kill.
MH Akimbo as well. He's becoming dangerous now. He has his Everfrost, he has the Seraphs, 4-1, and he's starting to stack that Dark Seal. Cass is really gonna start being an issue for Bethel here.
Yeah, that play bot lane really helped push forward that Caitlyn in gold. So once she does get her back off, it's gonna look really good for her. And her items and how much damage they are gonna get two towers from that herald. So really big play.
Definitely. Um, I think I'm really interested now. I mean, we saw a little bit of a taste in that first dragon fight, but I'm really interested to see when these top laners actually join these fights, because I feel like, well, Anaya does have the advantage in this lane here. The Sylas ult just offers so much more to the team than Garen ult would, right?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see, like, will this lead that she has put together a little bit in this top lane matter as much when it comes to this team fighting, or will it just be a little bit more of a stalemate?
Yeah. It really depends on when Silas can actually like uh, leave. You know, Anaya just constantly pushing in waves, top lane. Really hard for him to roam or anywhere because he just loses so much when he does. Um, so it is. It also is going to be interesting what ult he decides to steal in those team fights. You know, is he going to go for the Maokai ult? Is he going to go for the Cassiopeia or the Terrac ult? What is he going to do? Oh, he does get into the
Definitely.
skirmish.
And it looks
Nautilus
like
is
we
here.
have Nautilus here, but Phase Rush proccing on Garen here, and he is just so fast, being able to run three of Bethel's players, um, forcing a back out of this Nautilus, trying to reset here. Because of that, um, the Valpo's bot lane is going to be able to rotate mid here and just take up a little bit of farm. I mean, that is the danger of Garen. You you hit that Q, right? You hit that Q and then that E, and you kind of just proc it and run away, right? You get that phase rush and you just sprint away.
Yeah. Also, you saw a little bit how dangerous that Cassiopeia was, almost killing that that Oriana. Really, Oriana pretty uh, pretty messed up from that. Had to just back right away.
Yep,
Uh, but yeah, so this Cassiopeia is getting really strong, and that's going to be really scary for Bethel in these late game team fights, or just in these team fights in general.
it's really important, especially getting that lead to Cass, because her utility that she offers with her R is one thing. So she will always be helpful based on like her KDA, right? But I mean, giving her that damage as well that procs with her poison, it's so not easy to hit her poison in late game fights, but there's so many more targets that you can land it on that her E just has almost infinite procking. And we have the Silas R immediately on that Garen, probably just trying to get rid of that. But here comes Cass, and the flash from Oriana. We'll see if she can get away here, and it looks like she will with just a little smidge of health. Um,
Once again, she's barely surviving, but a big thing from that is Jakimbo did use his flash and didn't get the kill from that. So that's pretty big for the Oriana. I mean, she is 2 levels down and quite a bit of CS down.
yep.
So I don't. She is going to be really far behind when it comes to these team fights with how much damage she can provide to the team compared to this Cassiopeia.
Definitely. I think if I'm the Oriana here, I start to shift my mindset a little bit away from, okay, I need to get this item here so I can do damage and I can chip people to more. All right, I'm gonna be throwing my E's around. I'm gonna give my speed boost off my W. I'm gonna initiate with my R. Right, it's kind of
Yeah.
just a mindset shift that you have to give.
Yeah. It is quite tough, but we are gonna see Valpo get this second dragon. So dragons are now tied up, uh, two each. So very good for Valpo just getting that dragon control. We get the
Yep.
flash out of Trundle.
And I mean, it is an Infernal Soul, right? So while we don't have many, we do have high damage here. We don't have like many burst champs, I would say, right? So this Infernal Soul does help out a little bit with, especially like Cass and Caitlyn, and kind of just helping that sustain boost up a little bit.
Yeah, a big thing there is Silas did take Terricle,
Yep.
so that is big. Kind of signaling that they're looking for a fight soon in the near future to use this Terricle with. Not sure quite where they're gonna use it. I don't know if they really want to force a Baron, but they do good pings from Valpo, giving warning to Anaya to back up,
hmm
um,
I mean,
just to play safe.
I see what Bethel's going for here, right? You see that kind of Garen top lane, and you want to look for the collapse, right?
Yeah,
You need to give your Silas some type of breathing room so that he can farm against this Garen. And we're gonna see Trundle here kind of walk up trying to get this kind of thing, but you realize that he does have Stride Breaker, and you can just see how fast he is. Like, he's got the root even there, and he's still gonna get through even through the Terra Cult, right?
yeah.
Like, Maokai also there to counter jungle, but I really don't think it was. I don't think it's even necessary unless they're looking to turn here, and it looks like they are. You have Taric up in this top lane, but you also have Bethel teleporting in on one of the minions. The minion does get stopped, and it's gonna be a 4v3 in this top lane. Taric ult coming out, a lot of damage, but you don't have Caitlyn and you don't have Cass there yet.
Big thing though is that Caitlyn did kill the Oriana and does get the ult kill
And there's
on the
the
Trundle.
Yep, and Cass is now there as well with the Garen ult coming out, and that's gonna be 3 kills going to Valpo's favor. They were just willing to stall that out a little bit because you had the Garen, you had the Maokai, and then as the Cass was walking up there, you stopped the teleport coming in from Bethel's side.
Yeah, what looked like a disaster for Valpo at first turned really good for them, really quickly with the Caitlyn being able to kill that that Oriana and being able to come and join the fight and use that R against the Trundle. Also, the Cassiopeia coming in the fight, and you saw how much damage she actually did from that lead she gained. Um,
hmm
now she just the CS diff is so far ahead. The item diff is a whole item
Yep,
and a staff or a large rod. So
make that
major
2 large
gold lead.
rods.
2 large rods in front of a massive gold lead.
Yep.
Um, it,
I mean, we're
it's gonna be
start.
hard for Bethel to really try to navigate these team fights now.
hmm I think now Valpo really starts to focus on, hey, all right, we got to play around this Cass, right? Because that is the main lead on your team, and the Caitlyn has a lead as well, right? But we're still looking for that third item. You have that BF sword, right? You're still looking probably for the Infinity Edge here, right? And getting that third item will be the power spike, but until then, you kind of still want to play around this Cass, who has a ton of damage, a ton of area damage as well. Her poison being very important, and we might have a little bit of an engage here. Vector R coming out, being able to stop a lot of knock up. The flash over the pillar. Silas stealing Maokai R and pulling it back, but Anaya being stuck behind the lines, just getting tag teamed by 5 people right there. The Oriana R, everything just coming out. I mean, taking one for the team, I guess, but
Yeah, not gonna
just
spin to win your way out of that one.
exactly. Just a little bit of miscommunication on Valpo's side, whether they were going in or not. It looked like Valpo was backing off as Anaya like jumped in there. We'll have to see though how they kind of take this lead here. Now that I mean top laner is gone, you'll see Silas is starting to pick up that CS that he was missing. He's gonna try and roam free a little bit in this lane, pick up a couple of minions. Really, you just have to consider like, okay, this is our chance now to take up a lead here, but you are fighting this Baron buff that Valpo has.
Yeah, also dragon spawning in like 5 seconds here, which will put Valpo on soul point for Infernal, which is huge. Uh, with the fed Cassiopeia, the last thing you really want right now is for her to get even more damage, and that's like what it's looking like is gonna happen here. Um, so scary stuff for Bethel. You really have to look for some good engages with the Naught Assault. Um, and, and this whatever the Silas has to choose the right ult for these situations if you really want to win these team fights.
I mean, we get the early flash out of Nautilus right there. You have to be careful. MFG Kimbo is level 17.
Yeah,
Definitely the highest level in the game right now. The next highest level is Anaya at 16, and there's Silas at 15.
yeah,
Right, so almost being level 18, going to 30 minutes here is going to be a little bit tough. But we talked about earlier here, Valpo needs to look to wrap this game up.
yeah,
Uh, Hopefully after next drag, because anything after this 30-minute mark, it's gonna start stalling. Their champions are not gonna be as good as they were with the lead in that mid game. So if they can just wrap it up here by picking up a dragon, picking up maybe another Baron buff, and then being able to ride that home, um, I think they can secure this win here.
yeah. Basically, what Valpo need to do right now is just keep shoving in waves and putting pressure on the map,
Yep.
and not allowing uh, Bethel to be able to breathe on the map. Uh, get vision in their jungle. I mean, Bethel right now, if you look at the map, you see all those red wards. Very good vision from Bethel to be able to know what's going on in their jungle, so they are able to and uh, walk up into their own jungle. Also, being able to get that objective bounty on that mid tower is also really nice for them.
Yep. No, I mean they're doing all they can right now to get back into this game. It's really going to be decided on this next fight here, because this next fight is going to determine, all right, who's getting this next objective that's coming up, right?
I think the next objective is gonna be the Baron.
Hmm.
Um,
And it looks like we have a jump over the wall by MF Chikimbo. But you can just see, even on the Nautilus tank, how much damage he's really doing. Tarek popping that ult as well, trying to give him a little bit of coverage. Maokai Art coming in, stopping that Trundle, the stun as well coming out. Um, I mean, that was a 3v5 against, like, Bethel, but
yeah, we do have Baron up in under a minute, 50 seconds. So this is like really when both teams need to start backing and deciding what or getting their power their final items for this fight, because this can be a fight that decides the game.
definitely. I mean, holy. There's something about a Dead Man's Plate Stride Breaker Phase Rush Garen that's just so scary. I mean,
Yeah,
we all laugh at the Beyblade term that everybody gives Garen, but that was insane. That was some like Pegasus stuff. I
yeah,
mean, shout out to my Beyblade fans. But we have a shot over the wall as well,
oh
chipping
my,
just half damage, almost killing the Trundle outright. I mean, he has the IE. What we said, like that
yeah,
3-item power spike that we were looking for has happened. The thing is though, Sivir is really close to that as well,
yeah.
right? One kill down, but the CS lead is more than enough to make up that kill. Plus the assists as well. Sivir is on track with that as well. We just need to see her join a couple more of these fights. And it looks like Baron is going to go uncontested to Valpo Esports.
Yeah, that was good by Valpo to get Trundle down, force him to back, and once he backs, that's a free Baron. Really, no one contesting it, but it is quite unfortunate that the Sivir does have to go LDR third item instead of IE. That really delays a lot of damage for her
Hmm.
uh, in this mid to late game that you're seeing. But she is very strong. She does have a lot of CS and a lot of gold. um, keeping up with Orno.
It looks
Uh,
like we're gonna have Anaya run down this Oriana here using the Strike Breaker to pick up a little bit of speed, but the R coming out the last second after the Oriana flashes, killing her, wasting Oriana flash and securing that kill.
Yeah, that's a huge shot. That's a huge kill because Dragon does spawn up in 20 seconds. So that's a 40 seconds still left on the death timer. So Oriana's not going to be in the fight, and it's really hard for Bethel to fight this now. But you have to because it's so point right now. So this is so for Valpo. So you do have to fight this because if you give this up, you're really just giving up on the game. But as you can see, you have to walk into this team of Valpo, and it's really hard to do. You do have the Cassiopeia ult coming in.
And there's the stolen Maokai R coming in. The huge stun. Maokai R is coming from both sides. The Tarek R coming in as well. Emma Chikimbo being able to pick up the kill. Everfrost freezing him. Silas having to jump back in, but not being able to sustain enough as the Gale Force kills Silas. Dragon going to blue side. Sivir being able to pick up the kill on Tarek, but it's too much as you spin to win with Garen to get that double kill. And that's going to be a huge fight for them. I mean, Oriana just picking up waves after she spawns in, but that is soul point for Valpo Esports, and they have Baron. Looks like outside of maybe like a gold going to buy back here for Cass, they're looking to push this in for like maybe an inhibitor.
Yeah, uh, I honestly, I think if they all regrouped mid, they could have ended the game because their death timers were so low, and I don't think Oriana can stop all of them, all four of them. But you do see them taking more of a passive, let's win this the right way type of approach. Um, but don't have Baron for another 3 minutes, don't have Elder for 5, so it is going to be interesting to see what Valpo do here. Uh, they still do have Baron buff, so um, I guess they're just going to have to start pushing those side lanes to really try to get uh, those inhibitor towers.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, you still do have a chance here, but it's to really force a fight. But yeah, you have to ask the question where, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, it's gonna have to be under tower for Valpo, which is much worse. But there is still that chance. It's just based on this kind of wave push that they have. Looks like they will try and collapse on this Oriana on this right side here. The R coming out, knocking up, but Tarek being there, being able to ult and get the invulnerability off as Valpo forces another fight here. Maokai R coming in, maybe able to get this Nautilus here. Garen being able to jump to the backline and get this Sivir as well. Trundle flash over the wall, but they're going to see after this slow, they're going to start speeding up and walking through, and that's the fight that they needed. That's the whole bot lane gone with
yeah.
Oriana down. She's probably just going to heal at base, but that's going to give enough time for them to push this mid and maybe end this game.
Yeah, if I'm on Valpo in this game right now, I'm just pinging mid. Like I'm pinging my team. Let's go mid. Let's go mid.
Hmm.
As you can see, if it's a 3v5, they can't compete. The gold lead is just too big at this point. The item difference is just too big. Bethel really cannot compete with this team right now.
And there's the Tarek R stolen by Silas, maybe popping it right here to save him a little bit for the engage. But I mean, we're seeing that Caitlyn really start to just shoot, just outranging practically everyone on this team now, and kind of zoning out a lot of their melees. There's the art coming in from Silas diving in, but is another huge engage on this right side. Caitlyn kind of getting caught out there, but sacrificing Cass R there on Trundle. Trundle being able to pull and pick up another kill on the Maokai, but Garen being able to take him out. Garen with a double kill there as well, jumping in. And this is a 3v3, and that's a triple kill for Sivir. I mean, we talked about it. You don't want to take fights under turrets, right? You don't want to take the fights where they have the upper hand, and there's a huge pull from Nautilus to turn it to a quadra kill. And that's huge for Bethel, being able to turn that, get the shutdowns especially. All all of them going to Sivir, right? That's actually massive for Bethel. I know that their turrets did go down. It is open Nexus, but even then, with the pressure that they have here, Baron coming up in 40 seconds, they're going to be able to at least start up really quick here, with only a 3v5 maybe contest from Valpo.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be weird to say, but I think Valpo played a little bit too passive there. I think they went for the bottom inhib before, but I feel like if they all just went mid and just rushed mid, they could have ended the game there.
Mhm.
Um,
We
just doing it faster before those death timers came up, because once that Sivir came up, she's very fed right now. She has 4 items and a long sword right now. She is gonna do a lot of damage, um, especially in these team fights. Now level 17, uh, especially with her Q and her E, just a lot of damage.
definitely. Looks like we have another engage here. Silas stealing the Maokai R and being
Yeah,
able to
you
dump
see
in
that Sivir
the root.
damage.
Yep, and Sivir is really chunking these guys now. It's becoming really hard for Valpo to deal with it, especially with the R. There's the flash and the miss pull, but the pillar is enough to secure it. And this is looking really bad for Valpo Esports right now. I mean, you hung on later than 30 minutes. You see what happens now. Starting to get a little bit of a scale on the Sivir. Especially now that Bethel is playing aggressive
We do
around
have
their
a
fights.
backdoor with Jakimbo.
With Jakimbo, just taking the feed, trying to go in, but both of them stealing the R from Jakimbo, and then both freezing each other, which is kind of funny. The flash coming out, maybe trying to get these kills, at least securing the kill on Silas. The Baron going to red side, going to Bethel, and after they clear this wave, I mean, this is looking somewhat okay for them.
Yeah, the Elder Dragon is up in 30 seconds too. But no Sivir and no Silas are going to be up for that.
Yep.
Uh, but on the same side, no Jakimbo and no Ordinal on the side of Valpo. So it is going to be a 3v3 for this Elder Dragon if they do decide to fight it. If you're Valpo, this is when you want to fight. They have to stay in base and protect it right now since
Mhm.
they do have these pushing waves, especially in bot lane.
I
Uh,
mean, this is an interesting spot to be in right now for both teams because on Valpo Esports' side, you do have Cass and Caitlyn down, the two main damage dealers. But the same for Bethel's side. I mean, you have the Silas down, you have the Sivir down. So it's kind of, do you force this fight with that 3v3, right? Or do you just go and start this Elder? And it looks like Valpo is just going to try and start this Elder.
yeah, you see Oriana and Trundle walking in though.
Yep.
Uh,
Here comes
but
Anaya as
Garen,
well.
see now you have to back up. Now this is just a straight 5v5 at this point with
You do
all
have,
carries here.
yep. It will be a just pure 5v5 now. Emma Kimbo looking to initiate the steal on the Tarek R. Silas is walking around with invulnerability now, so you have to be careful. The miss on the Nautilus hooking the R as well, but Maokai R and Oriana R coming out too. Tarek ulting as well, trying to keep him alive in that middle, being in, but there's a double kill going to Sivir as well. The flash and the W on it, the knockaway, but that's just too much. Silas heals back from it, and that's going to be 3 down on Valpo's side. Bethel picking up speed now. If they secure this Elder Dragon, it's looking really, really good for Bethel being able to win this. But if you notice, you do have a Garen in base. Trying to run inhibitor just respawn, which is really unlucky for him. Um, as Anaya's forced to run away.
That was honestly a bit of a misplay by the Garen. The Garen started to go for the inhib,
Mhm.
uh, but I mean there's already one inhib down, so the Nexus is open. So I don't know why you're not going for the
Well, Inhib,
Nexus.
Inhib had just respawned on him. Anaya
No,
was attacking
not
Nexus.
not the bot lane.
Check it.
Yeah, the bot lane just spawned, but not when she died. She
Yeah,
was
but
attacking the middle then.
no, Inhibs are both back.
Yeah, but not at the time that she was.
Yes, at the time.
No.
Even then, it would have respawned while she was attacking the inhibitor. Or while she was attacking Nexus. I feel like there's nothing you can do really right there. That's just unlucky. You see the play that you're going for, but inhibitor timer was just too hard. I mean, it's really a dangerous spot right now for Valpo though, because whether we do attack Nexus or not, you have Elder Dragon and you have Baron buff. Not anymore, but you have these kind of attacks. You have the flash coming from Vector, but the R out of Nautilus. It's a pretty big ultimate, being able to zone someone, but that's being down now. They're just looking to push this mid and trying to end this. Now that all their inhibitors up, they don't need to play babysitting anymore.
Yeah, this Sivir is so strong, full build, and has GA now. So even if you do manage to kill her, you
I
gotta
mentioned
kill her
Kimbo getting
twice.
caught out even after throwing the R. This is going to be really, really tough for Valpo trying to hold this here, especially with that cast down. Oriana pulling in. Nautilus also hooking up as well, getting caught in the middle, and it looks like Bethel is going to turn this game around. Now running it down mid, just being aggressive, looking to end this game here. Being able to push this, not much that Valpo can do.
Yeah,
And it looks
with
like
Elder dragging up, you can't really do anything on this
and
side of Valpo.
this will be game for Valpo Esports and Bethel. Game one going to Bethel's side after a huge turnaround around that late game. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about it, right? You cannot hang around with these comps after 30 minutes, right?
yeah, that
35
Sivir just
minutes.
got too fed.
Yep, because we have Cass, we have that Caitlyn, we have all these champs, but I mean, they're mid-game fighters, so when you get to that late game, it's really, really tough to hang in there. And I mean, we saw what happened. That Sivir was 65,000 damage, being
Yeah,
able, she literally like she was the reason that they won that fight.
yeah,
They would set up for her really well. All right, they would throw the Oriana R, they would be able to throw the Silas Rs, especially with the Taric keeping her alive. Um, and Sivir was just able to auto. Like,
yeah. I think also even with her team falling down in the early game, she did really good to keep up with CS and keep up with the gold of the Caitlyn. It kind of match that, and when you're in the Caitlyn and you're matching with the Sivir, that it's not good. You have to
mhm,
get ahead, and
definitely.
as you can see, that's what happens when a Fed Sivir
Yep.
uh, gets on the rift. It doesn't end good for either people.
Yep. It's not good. But we're gonna take a short break here. And then we'll be hopping back into game two of Bethel College versus Valpo Esports. And welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 of the Bethel College versus Valpo Esports series of League of Legends. We're entering into ban phase here for our draft, and it looks like we have first ban Talia and first ban Lucian for Valpo. Bethel kind of focusing on mid lane here with another Victor ban, and Valpo focusing on that bot lane, just trying to keep
Yeah,
that ADC from getting fed here.
you can see the reaction band from Bethel, even though they win the game. They're like that Cassiopeia is way too strong.
Yep,
But would you see Bethel first pick the Caitlyn, uh, being
I like
like,
that.
okay, you can't win with the Caitlyn.
Yep.
I can. So
I mean, especially like the bans that Valpo threw out, three ADC
yeah,
bans, right? Caitlyn is a really, really strong pick here. And like you were talking about off stream, there's the Aphelios that we're looking for, just
yeah,
someone that can scale hard.
yeah. That the Felios definitely does scale harder than that Caitlyn.
Hmm.
Um, just gonna have to be able to make it through that early game. But once you get to that mid to late game, you're gonna be doing so much damage, uh, and really being able to take over team fights in the game.
Definitely. What I'm interested in, see, kind of, yep, there's a support pick that we haven't seen in a while. The Janna support from Valpo Esports.
I don't think I've ever seen Steam Roller ever play Jenna, but
Well,
I mean
he is now.
he plays about everybody, so I'm not surprised that he's pulling this one out.
Pretty much. I mean, it makes sense, right? You want the healing for the Aphelios. You want to keep them in that early game, right? Janna being a pretty strong champ, overall, I'd say. And Bethel kind of kind of
Eh,
just like flipping drafts here.
yeah,
Uh,
is Bethel just running back Vapo's comp?
yeah, I mean it might be. Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
the
And there's
Vex.
a Vex for Bethel's side. I mean, I like the Vex pick here because banning out that Talia Victor Cass, right? Those are very strong picks against Vex. Vex has a lot of utility, especially with her fears. So based on who Valpo chooses here for their R3, um, could determine if they're really worried about it. And there's the Syndra coming out. I mean, we've seen Syndra a lot for Valpo, especially MF Chikimbo being one of his comfort picks. Um, and this kind of matchup that we have in the mid lane, I feel like it's a little bit tough on both sides because if Syndra's combo is up, right, the QWE, right, if that combo is up, then Vex is going to have a hard time. But if Vex is able to land a fear first, Syndra really doesn't have much. So,
Yeah. We are gonna see some top lane targeted bans from both teams here in the second phase of the draft with the Fiora and the Darius.
yep,
Probably gonna see an Aatrox ban come out on the side of Bethel. Oh, we also see a Karma ban. Yeah, there's that Aatrox ban.
there's
We
the
do see the
Atrax.
Karma ban, which means that Valpo does think that Maokai is going jungle and not in the support.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it is going to be interesting to see what Bethel do pick on this B4, B5 to see where that Maokai is actually going.
Yep. I mean, having to take Maokai is always a good option. You saw that it was pretty nice in those first couple fights and those objective fights. Obviously, game not going for Valpo's way, but there are many different like factors into that, and I don't feel like the Maokai early play was one of them. Um, but in response to that Maokai, Valpo is going to go Nunu. Um, Another comfort pick for Valpo Esports is Vector. I mean, what are we thinking here with the Nunu? Obviously, my first thing I think of is that Vex is pretty gankable.
Yeah, Vex is definitely pretty gankable, and if you have the snowball from the Nunu and you have the stun from the Syndra, that's a lot of CC that you can lock down on that Vex in the early lane ganks.
Hmm.
We do see the Wukong. Now that could also go. So that is going to be a support Maokai and a Wukong jungle, and we're
Could see a GP top, or it could be that support Wukong that we've been seeing in Worlds. I mean, highly unlikely, but is this a little bit of a funky draft in these last couple rounds for Bethel?
and now we see the Silas top coming
Yeah.
out of Dreadful. Um,
I mean, if we
just
are the Silas in the GP, that is definitely. I mean, I've heard Dreadful talk about how he kind of struggles sometimes to face GPs in lane, but the Silas with that E is giving him enough movement and kind of navigation that he can use to get around these champs.
Yeah, he does have some good ults still, just like uh the last game for the other Silas. He does have that Maokai ult. He does have that GP ult. So even if he is top lane, he still can steal that GP ult and affect a play bot lane or mid lane or
Yeah,
at Dragon. He can still have a global impact on the map.
yeah. I think really just like global ults in general for Silas are very, very strong. So I definitely see the reasoning behind this pick going into this match. I mean, and we know that Dreadful is comfortable on the Silas. We know that he likes to play that. Out of all of his like I would classify as bruiser tops, I would say that Silas is one of his stronger ones.
Yeah,
Definitely not only just like in win rate wise, but being able to play with his team. Definitely one of his stronger picks. But I'm interested to see Steamroller 14's Janna. I mean, obviously we talked about it in the booth. We don't really have much data on it,
yeah.
right? But like my co-host Kelly said, um, he plays everything. Like he could first time whatever he wants. So
He was playing on hit Blitzcrank the other day. This man will play anything. He played support Aatrox.
no, yeah,
This man's an absolute demon on the Rift. Will play about anything.
hmm
Um, so I do feel confident that he'll be able to pull something out with this Janna. Um, but yeah, really looking for these this new level 2 or 3 gank to see where he wants to impact the map the most. If he wants to get that GP behind early and get the Silas ahead, or that mid lane gank, like you said, Vex is pretty gankable.
hmm
Um, or if he wants to take it on the bot lane. I think the bot lane is going to be a bit harder to gank. So I don't know if he is going to favor to go down there.
definitely. No, and I think um honestly it should be good. I feel like Valpo, if we're talking win cons here, we always talk about being aggressive. That's one thing that every team can definitely work on is it's that taking leads and recognizing leads, right? But I think this game's a little bit different, especially because of the hard scale that Aphelios is, the hard scale that Syndra is. Valpo doesn't really want to take those early fights in that bot lane anymore.
Yeah, yeah, they they definitely want they want the match to go towards a stalemate into the mid to late game because that just favors Valpo a lot more, especially with the bot side. Um, with that Caitlyn. Um,
And that
but
Maokai support too,
yeah, but that GP, you have to watch out for him because he does have crazy scaling. With the more crit that you buy, those
definitely.
barrels can do crazy damage, um, and one shot people. So you do have to watch out for that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, and we're gonna take a slight break here. We're just gonna wait until we load into this game, and we'll catch you guys later. go! Let's go! Welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 of Bethel College versus Valpo Esports. A little bit of a refresher, a little bit rejuvenation, and we're back in the booth. We're excited to go into this game too. We talked about the Janna off stream a little bit. What do you feel like is kind of how you should play this Janna against this Maokai? What kind of spacing do you think you should have?
I think you just need to just throw those tornadoes. You just need to keep hitting on those tornadoes on the Caitlyn and the Maokai to kind of make sure that they're not constantly getting to push on you. Um, so it gives Aphelios good an easier time to farm the
Hmm.
wave, so he's not constantly under pressure.
No, yeah. Uh, it's always an interesting pick, but I think I also want to talk about it a little bit. One pick that we haven't seen this season is the GP top, and we talked about a little bit in draft that Dreadful doesn't exactly like facing the GP, but definitely a really really tough fight, right?
Yeah.
Because he crosses the line of ranged and melee very strong. He has a very very strong range with his Q, right, which is just a point and click shot. It's practically an auto. um but then you have his auto attack, which deals true damage burn
Yeah.
every like seconds. So he's just really really tough to face, especially in this early game. I think we're gonna see that here, just the pressure that he exerts on Silas.
Yeah, especially if one of those barrels hits, that
True.
it can be quite hard.
Yeah.
Especially being a melee champion like Silas into that, you have to walk into the range of the barrel to destroy it, or just it can be easy to get hit by those barrels when you're trying to walk up to CS.
No, definitely. Those barrels are tough. And speaking of those, I want to question here, based on the comp that Bethel is running. Do you think that this guy is gonna, or you think that this GP is gonna focus more on a crit build, or more on just like the usual like Divine Sunder tank kind of
Uh,
fights?
you,
And there's the
what they're
level 2 Nunu gank that we're looking for here. Vex walking up, still level 1, but missing a little bit here. Just being forced to back up a little bit. But, we're going to see this GP. You see the chip that he has from his Q. Just being able to shoot a little bit.
Yeah, it did get the flash out of the Vexus early, so good gank.
Ooh, big tornado.
Big tornado,
No.
especially since that that they hit level 2 first, so important to stop the momentum of that push that the bot lane had. Oh, here comes Nunu into the bot lane.
But it looks like he's just going to back out because Maokai's there as well. Maokai looking to get at least a W in, but kind of just getting zoned out. And here comes GP Barrel. Going down, looking for another one to drop right here, and there it is. We talked
Dash.
about, yeah, we talked about the Silas dash being important in this matchup here, and a great trade for for Dreadful in this top lane. Being able to just kind of weave his autos in.
Yeah, good dash. That would have been really, really bad, but also good for him to turn that around. Ooh, bot lane has to look out here with the Wukong, but
And we have
both
the dash
junglers are
as well,
here.
the flash coming in from Janna, hitting it up, and it looks like it's just gonna be another stalemate. And there's the flash as well, but not being able to get it.
Oh, that feels so bad for the Silas and Dreadful. So close to that kill, you invest a flash, and you get hit by that last turret
It
shot.
was just that little half second of the auto cancel that he had on his last attack was just enough to stop him from getting that last shot off, especially with his Conqueror proc. That's rough.
Yeah, that just feels horrible. But it did show good signs early in that late of the trading he can do
Yep.
against that GP.
We're gonna see here, right? It's there goes the Maokai. Excuse me, folks. Sorry. There's just it's a weird matchup. I will say, and now that Sheen first back on GP, it's gonna be really damn hard to fight him now.
Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna be hard to fight him. So you're just looking to scale here as Silas just farming,
Yep.
trying not to get into any fights unless you have jungler. coming to help you. But if you're Nord or
There's the
Vector,
Maokai W in Q backwards, getting the Ignite on Ordinal. The Maokai almost propping off. Uh, Another gank mid, but so far just a little bit unsuccessful. Same for Wukong coming on the other side.
yeah,
But
both junglers seem really just not very successful in both ganks or all the ganks that they've had this game so far. Really nothing getting done. So it is going to be interesting to see if they can actually look to get a pick in one of these lanes.
I mean, both like laners playing, or not both, but all the laners playing somewhat safe when it comes to the 2v1s that they're facing.
Yeah.
Just a couple of like the solo kill in top lane, really the only action that we've had right now, because the rest of it has just been a really safe game.
Yeah. Uh,
Or a
it,
Q here, maybe? Oh. Just walking him back a little bit.
saving it for this massive barrel he's about to hit. Oh, but Dreadful does do good and get the E. He decides to go in, gets a really good trade, gets the W out of the GP.
With the orange on GP, just like acting as pretty much a Silas W at this stage in the game.
Yeah.
Just really annoying to fight that. And you
But
see
you
you're
do
gonna get
see
a
the
hit in the
W
burn.
heal from
Yeah.
the Silas, massive there.
But you see, I mean,
That range.
the Q immediately just stops it back. Plus the first strike on GP, giving him that gold advantage too when he goes into these fights. I mean, we
Do you
do
see the
have
Wukong?
Wukong. Yeah, we do have Wukong sitting in bush here. Maybe looking to pop out a little bit.
I don't think Dreadful knows he's here.
I don't think so either.
Wukong is just gonna back.
I mean, if I'm Jacob, I don't even, or if I'm Dreadful, I don't even take this fight right here either.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like even under tower, GP can still, like, pop you. But we're not
Oh,
sure.
they're looking to push.
Maybe clearing up for an
That
invade,
was
maybe into the jungle, but
that's a bit weird. I feel like that GPL was a little preemptive. Didn't get that wave cleared, so couldn't push that under. Maybe if you just waited like a couple more seconds to clear that wave, then they could have got that kill on him. But Wukong just wasting a bunch of time just sitting up in that top bush, not really getting done anything on the map, not really farming his camps, and Valpo take advantage of this by getting the Cloud Dragon.
I mean, at least Wukong's gonna get a couple of raptors here on red side,
Yeah.
right? But no, like I said, I think he overstayed his welcome a little bit there.
Uh, Looks like Vector is gonna go to the Wukong. Looks like they are gonna skirmish here.
hmm
Oh,
Yeah, a
but the
little bit
Wukong
damage
just
on.
backs off. Stun. Good poke damage by Jikimbo.
Mhm. That's the big thing. It's all about timing with dodges with Vex. I mean, you're looking for, all right, you have to throw this here. You're gonna throw this now. Right now, I'm gonna step because that delay that she has on her Q is just enough time to be able to do a reactionary dive, right? But it's a lot easier if you're able to sidestep that, especially weaving those abilities. It makes Vex really hard to be successful with.
Yeah. To this top. Good.
Little Janna knock up, yippee, wahoo. I mean, we are seeing that Valpo's bot lane has a little bit less pressure, especially in this early game, which is expected. I mean, with the Aphelios Janna, like we said, it's just going to be a little bit tough for them. Oh, he walks back into it. The barrel proccing off as well, and that's a lot of damage. It looks like GP's just going to try and run him down here. There's a shot, but the healing is just enough. The W getting in and dash back out. Just saving him there, but kind of freezing up the wave a little bit.
Yeah. Dreadful has been really good at dodging those E's or dodging those barrows with his E. Um, Dashing out of the way. Gets a little too confident in the re-engage. Takes a really bad trade. Has to back now. Doesn't have the TP, so you're just giving a bunch of gold over to the GP right now. Already just no Herald, just 3 tower plates. That's pretty brutal. That's a lot of gold going into GP, especially with GP who doesn't need the most gold to scale. Giving them gold like this to accelerate them is not ideal. Plus now Bethel do pick up the Rift Herald, so looking to maybe drop that mid.
There's the flash on the Maokai, but the reaction Q and E, or
Oh,
Q and W coming from Chikimbo, the Vex are just missing by the sidestep. And it looks like Chikimbo will get out of this, but the Rift Herald is going to be dropped mid without the pressure anymore.
yeah,
Wukong
just
kind of looking for him in this jungle. But rest of Valpo converging on this mid point here, trying to just stop this Rift Herald as much as they can.
yeah, that was uh, probably a great place to drop that hero because as you can see, the Vex is struggling a bit in the lane CS wise. Um, so giving her gold to try to help her out uh, is a great thing to do. Um, but already a 1K gold lead, a 1.3K gold lead this early in the game. Uh, doesn't mean it's the end of the game, but just shows how much, besides mid lane, how much in jungle, how much more like better the Bethel is at farming right now, especially in top lane and bot lane right now. Just some decent size CS gaps that are creating this gold lead.
And I think a lot of it's champs. It looks like we have an engage here. The Maokai art and the Silas art coming out as well. GP, both of them ulting. The dash in and Wukong is going to pick up one, but Aphelios is going to pick up the other. Aphelios is almost half health here. Fighting this Caitlyn though is going to be a little bit rough without any support. The Ignite going off on him, but not really picking up a kill. And that's going to be just a 1-for-1 trade. Janna going down for that Wukong.
Yeah, that's got to be also pretty confusing in that fight, not knowing which GP ult is yours and which
Yeah.
one is the Silas's. Uh, so, g- but good good play by Bethel, getting that 1 for 1.
And
Uh,
a huge trade there for that mid lane. I mean, we're
yeah,
seeing this CS difference right now on this Syndra and this Vex being very, very helpful for Syndra just kind of pressuring off wave. And now that GP is starting to get those crits going with that Essence Reaver, it's going to start getting dangerous because his
yeah,
wave clear is insane, right? And there's another Q shot. Silas being able to even the trade a little bit, but he's going to eat this orange and probably look for a dive here. And there's the flash, not being able to secure that kill.
yeah,
Just a little bit of an unsuccessful dive, but Silas being so strong at the moment. Or not Silas being so strong, GP's being so strong at the moment. Really nothing gained, nothing lost, right?
yeah. It's like a game of cat and mouse. They're kind of just both poking each other. Um, no one really going down. Good for Valpo to get that dragon. Now have a 2 dragon stack. Um, we are gonna get an Infernal again.
Yep.
Um, just glad it's not a cloud.
We've dealt with too many clouds during this JDGT one that's going on right now. I think this is good enough. I mean, what we're
Plus,
looking for here.
last series we got 2 cloud. Something's up.
It's not exactly like the most demanding soul point.
We do see a lane gank coming in from Vector with the snowball.
The Maokai art going out trying to save him here, but the Nunu art going and clean up that kill. Even with this Caitlyn farming those autos, a little bit dangerous here because she does have that Gale Force used. Not able to pick up any kills, but Aphelios is very dangerously low. MF Chikimbo getting ganked in this mid lane as a return, the Ignite going out and the kill going to Wukong. I mean, if you gotta trade 1-for-1, right?
Yeah,
If Valpo's jungle is gonna go bot lane, you have to go mid lane. You have to go top lane. You have to be able to trade it, and that's what Bethel College was looking for right there.
good gank by the Wukong right there, and good ult hit from the Vex, really being able to lock down uh, the Syndra. Even though the Syndra is so far ahead, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're taunted for
Yep.
the entire fight. So uh, we are gonna see a dive top lane.
There is also a TP coming out, probably from the Syndra here, And it looks like they're gonna try and turn this 2v2 into a 3v2, and the ult coming
Ooh,
from Syndra securing that kill. Huge shutdown going that way. Or not exactly in money-wise, but evening out these team fights.
yeah, yeah. That was a huge ult by Jakimbo to get something out of that.
Hmm.
Punish Bethel for just staying so long on the top side. But gold lead is still in the favor of Bethel, so too much to say about that. But do get first tower over to the Gangplank, and he has a lot of gold.
Yeah. Gangplank is a little bit nasty right now, especially with that armor pen that he has, the Essence Reaver, and buying stopwatch. Or actually, he was running Rune for stopwatch. Sorry about that. Um, but still, having those items is going to be a little bit dangerous. And it looks like we are just going to get the kind of like mixed build that we look for in GP with the crit. Um, Opting for a little bit more damage. She's obviously comfortable with it. Maokai flashing for the W, but Jakimbo flashing before that. Not being able to hit it. Caitlyn kind of being unsuccessful with the gank from the right river.
Yeah, if you're Bethel, you're taking that trade for flashes every day of the week. The support for mid lane flash.
And it looks like we have a great knockup by Janna. And then a shot from Emma Chikimbo, but Janna hitting that last hit auto, taking that kill. Which I mean, hey, we love our supports, right?
Love our support.
But just a little bit of a pick there on that Maokai. As I mean, drag up in 130. Really, we're just farming here. There's no big objective up. Looking to maybe get this Caitlyn for overstaying a little bit. And Caitlyn trying to dash away the Gale Force Flash and the E, but the exhaust as well, maybe not being enough as Ordinal picks up the kill on Caitlyn.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Drag is up in a minute, and that's pretty big for Valpo, as that is soul point. That's gonna be soul point for Valpo if they do get this dragon, and would actually push them really far ahead in this game, even though the GP is farther ahead.
Hmm.
Or really, you just, if you're Valpo, you gotta look for a way to shut down this GP.
I mean, fighting for this Infernal Soul, right? Obviously, you still have two drags. Do you even try to contest this first one? There's a flash away right as the Vex R is in there, trying to catch him under tower, the Rift Herald going up. But do you try and contest this if you're Valpo Esports? Obviously, with Bethel taking a little bit of priority right now.
I don't, it depends. Right now, gold at this stage is about even. Um, I think if it comes down to dying for this dragon, I think you just give it up. But if they think they can win the team fight, which I think they can right now, they're feeling pretty confident.
Hmm.
I think they should go for it.
Makes sense. I mean,
But they,
especially with the AoE that they have right now for Valpo, as long as they can just survive this Maokai engage right here, because we're probably looking for one here. They can survive that Maokai R. Or actually, the R is not even up yet, so this would be a good fight for Valpo.
yeah, Gangplank is here. He just walked from top lane all the way to bot lane. You are gonna get the TP in from the Silas. Uh,
And there's the throw in, the dash in by the Wukong. Huge knock up there. Both GP ults coming in, but Syndra being able to pick up the kill on Wukong, who overextended there. And there's another kill going to Silas on that Vex. It is now a 3v5. Huge knock up and W by Emma Chikimbo and Steamroller. That kind of combo leading to almost a full ace there, with GP just being able to walk out of that bot lane, just trying to take a little bit of CS as it goes.
yeah, that was a great play from Valpo. Being able to get that team fight, that perfect team fight that they were looking for. And
Oh, and it looks like there's gonna be R there, but a huge stopwatch
I don't
by
think that's gonna
GP.
change anything though.
Dreadful. The only thing it changes is who the kill went to, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, dashing in now, they have lane prio in that bot lane. Looking to take that tower, get as much out of it, and then looks like we have Baron coming up in 40 seconds, and that will probably be our next like big objective fight. I feel like if GP had played a little bit more of a role in that game, or in that fight especially, it definitely would have been more beneficial for the side of Bethel. And that is
That's
one
a lot of
E
damage.
and half of Vex's health. Oh my.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage
That's a
coming
lot of
out
damage.
of
I
this
mean,
Syndra.
I know that was the Luden's proc, right? But even then, I mean, she's dead here. Sorry. That's rough. I mean, we're looking at here now. Valpo is starting to take a lot of an advantage. Well, those 2K gold lead, we do have an 8 kill lead on Valpo's side. It's really going to be a matter of if they can use this lead again. Because I mean, we saw what happened last game. They did have that lead, um, but just hung in there a little bit too long. So I wondered what can they do this game to try and tidy things up quicker.
Yeah, so they're just gonna have to pretty much wait for this dragon soul at this point, because once Valpo gets that dragon soul, uh, then then you're really starting to think, okay, how do we look to end this, right?
Hmm.
Um, do we look towards maybe force a Baron fight and look to flip and and end that way, or just wait until Elder, because you get this soul. If you get the soul in 3 minutes, that's a 24-minute soul. That's a really early soul with still a ton of time left in the game, and the gold lead really isn't that big of a gap yet. So even though that Valpo have 3 dragons, feels kind of even though the kills say different.
Hmm.
Um, but once you have that soul, especially Infernal Soul, on that Syndra, is just going to be absolutely brutal.
Yep.
That damage, you even saw her without it. Um, that just more burst damage for the Syndra is just going to be brutal.
No, definitely. I mean, we have to see here. A lot of these kills, right? The reason that there is that gold and kill disparity is that all these fights have come from team fights, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to see much of a laning diff out of any of these teams, but you are going to see. Oh, and there's a huge knockup right there. But looks like Maokai and them are looking to turn this here. Vector being forced to flash out. Janna with another one, forcing the Maokai to flash. TP coming in from Silas, using the speed boost as well to jump through, steal that Wukong ult, jump to that backline. GP coming in clutch here as well, with Syndra just kind of zoning out this Vex. The huge stopwatch allowing for the rest of the team to jump in, but Dreadful is going to clean up that kill on that Vex in topside. Um, while they're doing all this though, it's a little bit dangerous. Valpo Esports has to look. GP is solo laning on this bot lane.
Yeah.
He is taking these towers. I mean, they're obviously not. Bethel's not looking to 4v5 here every time. They're not looking to contest every single fight. It looks like they're just trying to solo lane with this GP, use the advantage that he has, have him come back with like that 50 CS lead, have him come back with those items that he needs. Especially picking up that shield bow, picking up the Lord Dominic. So we are seeing a crit build. I like that. Honestly, I like that he's opting for definitely more damage. Definitely works out better for a solo lane experience because his wave clear now is insane with the crit on his barrels. He's becoming a bit of an issue, and Valpo really has to watch out for that because they really haven't had a fight where he's been fully involved yet.
Yeah, the only involvement he's really had so far, besides that one dragon fight, is his ult. But it is gonna be interesting to see if he can get some major crits on his barrels onto the backline of Valpo.
And now we have 5 people up here.
This is
This
a big dragon fight too.
Yep,
This is for
steal as
soul.
well. This is soul point for Valpo Esports. I mean, they have to contest this a little bit. We're seeing here, I mean, just the setup, trying to GP, trying to hide these barrels, right? He's sitting around this area being able to Q it. Um, and obviously the Q causing that extra crit damage coming from those barrels. So really being able to hit these is kind of insane. Dragon going up, huge R coming from Maokai. The steal going back as well, and we have an engage here, jumping in, a lot of flashes. We have 2 kills going to Valpo's side, but GP picking up the Nunu as well. GP going with another kill on that Silas, being able to push him out. Ordinal being able to sit behind. Syndra still being an issue right now, especially throwing around. And there's another kill going to Ordinal. Um, the Aphelios just kind of sitting back there, and we're starting to see him scale now. I mean, he's 4-0-7. We have GP running away here. Oh, and
Ooh,
just outrunning that Q. The issue being that, I mean, you do have Ordinal to take this dragon, so actually, not too much of an issue. Looks like Soul Point will go over to Valpo's side. Another good team fight. I mean, you can see that Bethel is kind of just getting split up right now between sides, and because of that, Syndra is able to back up and get as many picks as she needs to throw in.
yeah. And, and if you're Valpo here, you don't want to make the same mistake as last game. And you just want to close this game out as fast as possible with this lead that you have. Uh, you have Soul, uh, a ton of damage. You want to look towards this Baron right now,
Yep.
um, and look to maybe turn it because you do have the advantage with the damage and the gold lead. So it is going to be interesting to see what they do next.
I mean, I'm definitely seeing that. While the gold lead is still only like 2k, the percent buff that they have from those soul points and from just like overall fighting, definitely coming in clutch, especially for a lot of these kills. And just the gold distribution on their team is a lot heavier on the like damage carries that you find on Valpo Esports rather than maybe the GP.
Yeah, it seems like most of the gold
And
on.
there's like, oh my gosh.
I think this is if you're Valpo, this is your sign to do Baron.
Yep. Especially if they get this kill here on this GP. I mean, that's a huge barrel and a huge knockup by the Wukong, being
Oh,
able
that
to
was
jump in, trading the 1-for-1 there. But here comes Syndra as well. Jeffrey getting knocked around a little bit. The Maw procking on Wukong as well, being able to dive in. Janna R trying to save him, being successful. Emma Chikimbo picking up 3 kills. And there's a 4th one as well. We might have Chikimbo pick up all 5 kills against the enemy team. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's Jakimbo Syndra, right? We've seen this 50,000 times. He's now fed. The only thing, it's like he got that Void Staff now. He has the Magi stacks. I mean, what do you do, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Valpo, you really need to look towards the Baron here, and you need to start looking towards the end because y- the, like you have a clear path to victory, uh, and I mean, as from last game, you can see if you don't close out when you have the lead, uh, bad things can happen. Uh, just
Definitely.
just giving these other champions time to scale is not what you want to do, especially the likes of GP, the Vex, and the Caitlyn. You do not want to give them time to scale.
I
Uh,
think the scary part that we're looking for here is when GP can start one-shotting Janna.
yeah,
Once that starts happening, we know that Valpo's kind of turning around. Caitlyn doing a lot of damage here, the knockup as well. Jeffro being able to sit on it, but kind of overstaying his welcome a little bit. The Nunu ult coming in. Both 2 going down. That's a 2 for 3 here. The ult on Caitlyn as well, knocking out on that Janna, but Emma Chikimbo just, again, chipping people for half the health. Really what you want to focus on is CCing this Chikimbo. And there's the R from Vex, just kind of taunting it a little bit, but really not deciding to jump in, which I think is smart there. Um, you have to worry. It's just like, you know, these kind of fights are starting to get bad for Valpo when they're not gonna communicate. So
yeah, good play by Val or by Bethel to get the 3-for-0 there, especially when you're in such a deficit, really, with the soul, with the gold, um, just to be able to bring that back and, and create something really out of nothing.
mhm.
Um, so it is going to be interesting to see what Valpo do now because I think they're going to be a little too hesitant after that to even think about the Baron. Um, so I think what's going to happen is just we're just going to be sitting here farming until Elder.
Definitely, yeah. Just another day. Um, Looking at it, I mean, one thing we have to watch out for though, that fight did give GP IE.
That yeah
Um, that's huge.
That is
because
huge.
he does have 4 complete items now, and I don't think that, I want you to name one item that has a stronger power spike than IE on any character that builds IE,
Yeah,
you know?
i.e. when you get that 60% crit, huge power spike.
Yeah,
Very rarely as like an ADC or any champion that builds crit do you not go IE third item
yep,
just because of how strong it is. I think Bethel is looking maybe at a Baron or
yep.
at least baiting it.
I think
But
if
they
they,
are in a ward. They don't know.
I think it's better for them to try and bait this. I mean, they are just chilling a little bit on that river ward, but trying to bait this will at least give them the opportunity. And it looks like we have a jump here. Maokai Art coming out, but there's half of his health. We see that Void Staff, we see that Rabadons.
You gotta be careful here if you're Bethel to not die right before the Elder Dragon spawns, right?
Yup,
Elder Dragon does spawn in a minute, and you do not want to die before this spawns because if you die, that's a Baron, and then that's a Elder Dragon, and at that point the game is over.
definitely. I mean, we saw Wukong farming top especially. Wukong has been a huge factor in a lot of Bethel's fights going their way this game, especially being able to jump in, so I think they have to really like play behind him here. Um, it's gonna be tough because we are seeing the back, right? We now have the speed buff on Syndra using that 10 stacks of Magi's. It looks like just like what Bethel was setting up here. Valpo's gonna set it right back up against Elder Dragon hiding in these bushes. Um, just kind of sweeping around a little bit. They're gonna move up, all just kind of hiding up. Oh no! Oh, there we go.
Bound to happen,
The
really.
one Maokai E. Oh man.
Uh,
We did have the 5 stack in the bush, which would have been
oh
fun.
my
And
goodness.
Vex is almost dead. I don't even know what to say at that
Feels
point.
bad. Feels bad.
It feels bad. Hey, as a Vex player myself, I'm sorry, man. Like that's not fun to be in. Um, really
Dragon just resetting for fun apparently
yeah.
because
I mean,
it does that.
cause League of Legends, it do be like that sometimes.
Indie company.
Yep.
Small indie company.
Small indie company, but and a couple of shots off here. It looks like GP's gonna look for maybe a barrel here. There goes the Vex R, but the Maokai are almost killing from Silas. Gonna be an issue here. And there's a
Oh,
steal on the
my.
Elder Dragon by Bethel. Wukong picking up a kill on Nunu, but GP going down to Syndra. Being forced in, Syndra is just sitting there
Apparently,
taking kills.
Dreadful just does not die.
Apparently. I mean, hell, that's Silas, right?
Yeah,
Welcome.
but
I mean,
huge from Bethel. That delays the game so much for Valpo.
yep.
They really cannot, even if they get 5 down here. Oh,
And they might get 5 down here.
they
I mean,
might.
no toss. Yep. Looks like they're not going to get it here. But even in them losing that fight, right, they still did take that Elder.
Yeah.
Right, that Elder Dragon buff being up for them even when they come back is going to be insane because now you have a full team fight, right?
Yeah, and now you're gonna get this mid lane open and with super minions. Or no, you're not gonna quite get the inhib, but I mean, if I'm Valpo, once I'm spinging, I'm spam pinging, this this Baron, you know.
Yep.
I'm like, we need to get this Baron.
Yeah, we see. I mean, you see that fight right there. They really just need to find someone to get on that MF Kimbo, right?
Bethel think they're doing Baron right now. They're checking it out, but they see that they're not.
Looks like they're trying to just get this pick on the Aphelios here. I mean, if I'm Bethel, biggest thing is, I mean, not to like count anyone out, right? Dreadful's having some good engages. The Nunu balls are kind of hopping in, right? But really, it's MF Kimbo's damage that's really fixing him. Dreadful maybe getting caught out here. And
Yeah, so
remember,
watch out.
I mean,
Because of the
yep, and there it is. And that's the kill that they need to start that Baron. That's exactly what Bethel was looking for. Bethel playing this late game pretty well, like we saw last game. They're gonna immediately start this here. That barrel doing almost 1,000 damage plus double.
oh my, they're just shredding this Baron right now.
Yeah, I don't even think Valpo will get in fast enough. I mean, Caitlyn did stop shooting though, so they're gonna stop it. But there's a kill to the Vex on Janna, and there's another kill on the Nunu. That Elder Dragon going in clutch, and the Baron going to Bethel's side. Um, I think we're seeing the big downside here is that as much as Jakimbo is fed, the front line for Valpo Esports is not as good, right? They're not as fed right now, so it's hard for them to face this Wukong, to face the Divine Sunder, the crit from that GP, and I think that it just MF Jakimbo doesn't have the range to actually walk up.
Yeah, and if you look at the gold lead, that 3K plus gold lead that they
Nope.
had.
And oh my god!
Oh my!
Oh
Just
god!
one-shot him.
Oh god, that's like League of Legends Live League. That was horrible.
That was horrible.
Oh,
But as I was saying, the gold lead
I'm
basically.
so sorry, Vex.
The gold lead is basically non-existent for Valpo anymore.
It's just all on Jakimbo.
It is. It really is. It's Jakimbo versus GP. That's what we're watching right now.
We're watching a Jakimbo 1v9 right here. That was scary. God.
The Jamimbo special right there. That was what that was.
I mean, it's like you can turn League of Legends into horror games like this. It's scary, man.
Even the Vex after that one question mark ping that one. She
Yeah.
didn't know what
Vex,
was going
hey,
on.
Listen, Vex. It's
We've
a
all
cold
been
world.
there.
It's a cold world.
It's
You know, there's nothing you could do there. I'm sorry, but I mean, we do have to look at Bethel here, kind of turning this around.
yeah. I mean, you look at the kill lead and you're just like, oh my, it's a slaughter. But you look at the gold lead and you're like, okay, like this is a
Yeah.
close game.
And
Eh.
you start checking the objectives. I mean, outside of Soul, everything after Soul Point. I mean, this happened last game too.
Yeah.
Everything after Soul Point, it's like Bethel just like flipped the switch, and they've started taking these fights like they wanted.
That massive steal from Caitlyn on the Elder Dragon.
Yep.
And Vex staying alive, being able to stay alive, it helps so much during that Baron fight, and them being able to take Baron
Yep.
off of that first kill off of the Silas.
No, yeah. I mean, keeping that Baron allowed them to or I'm sorry, keeping that Elder Dragon was allowing them to pressure that Baron.
Yeah.
And especially on that pick that they had on Dreadful in the top lane, they were able to run it. But if I'm Valpo right now, I'm not getting worried per se, but it's time to get serious,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to start locking in here, because if you let them try and like run around on these objectives anymore, especially we have another Elder Dragon coming up in a minute, that one's gonna be even harder for them to take, because the first one they had more of a lead, right?
Yeah,
So now,
this Elder Dragon coming up in 50 seconds is really gonna decide the game, in my opinion, because right now the gold is actually in favor of Bethel,
Yep.
which is absolutely insane from the start of this game. But you know, if you look at the ADC, the Caitlyn going Maw is interesting to say the least.
I mean, I guess
I guess you're scared of the Syndra, but I don't think that Maw is keeping you alive anyway,
I don't.
as
Yeah.
you saw by Vex. But I mean, look at that GP full build. You're not stopping that, man.
That's scary. The BT on him as
Yeah.
well. I'm getting a little bit worried now, because this level 18 maxed out GP is gonna be kind of the deciding factor, along with that Wukong, because you get the Wukong knockup, you get the GP barrel. There you can't survive.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to get shot through it.
And if you can shut down,
Oh,
if you
but
can,
we might have an early pick here. The dash away on the Wukong, just saving him, but the Maokai are forcing Valpo back. Valpo being able to start this dragon a little bit early. Huge chips from Syndra there, kind of just stopping them from walking up here. They're going to be forced to back up a little bit. It's going to be big if GP can hit any of these barrels here. A lot of damage going out. The pushback from Syndra, but not being able to hit the actual damage. Maokai walking back, a good engage. Syndra getting able to kill that GP. It's actually huge. Silas picking up the kill on the Wukong as well. Aphelios and Silas cleaning up, and that's going to be an ace for Valpo, being able to take this Elder Dragon.
yeah, this should just be game. They should just be able to rush down mid lane, and end the game through this. And it's going to take a miracle for Bethel to come back from this one. I think it's just a GG.
I think it'll be a miracle for Bethel's side if they don't end it before even one of them spawns in. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just inhibitor and towers. We see Aphelios just floating around, having a little bit of fun. I mean, Well played game by Valpo Esports being able to take that lead early, and this time, going to end it, have a couple of good fights at the end, and kind of creating and upholding that gap.
Yeah. Uh, uh, Also, good, fair play to Bethel, making the game interesting, keeping it close, uh, not giving up in trying to stay in the game. Because at one point, it, they were winning. I mean, you could just see the damage from Jakimbo. I mean,
Yeah,
without that Syndra,
50k.
Valpo
Yeah,
are Valpo are losing that
no, I agree with
10
you.
times out of 10 without Jakimbo there on the Syndra.
I mean, we saw just even in that last like elder fight that they had, um, they were about to all jump in, and then Syndra hits one QW, and half of their team is chunked, and then they have to all walk back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are going to take a tiny bit of a break here, going into Game 3 of the series between Bethel College and Valpo Esports. And welcome back, everyone, to Game 3 of the series between Bethel's College and Valpo Esports, League of Legends. We're going into Game 3, 1-1 so far in the series, obviously. Um, and bans so far, as we're looking at it, another full ban out of the ADC role. Bethel going with another full ban of the mid role, starting with that Syndra ban, which is kind of obvious.
I
Dropping,
think that's a right choice after last game.
yeah, dropping 50k damage isn't exactly like something to just go, it was just like team play. You know
If
what I
I've
mean?
ever seen a 1v9 in my life, that was it from
hmm
from Jakimbo on that Syndra.
No, I need to like schedule therapy for that Vex. I think
Yeah,
like she has PTSD from seeing that
I
bush.
have PTSD from
hmm
seeing that.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's literally like watching a live death. It's crazy.
but we do
Um,
see the first pick Maokai
from
coming out of
Valpo
Valpo. That could be either a jungle or a uh, a
support.
support.
Yep.
And then we do see the MF Nautilus. Not a big fan of the MF Nautilus. More of a fan of the MF Amumu. Nautilus does do a pretty well job, just not as good as Amumu.
hmm Yeah, I know. Um, I definitely agree with that, right? But Valpo going with the Caitlyn Malkai, I mean, we're just like flipping roles at this point.
Yeah,
Whenever one team drafts something new, the other team's like, I'm just gonna copy what you did last game. Like, don't.
Caitlyn 0-2 right now in this
Yeah, I
series.
I don't
So
agree
is
with that,
Maokai.
Caitlyn.
So
Yeah,
is Maokai.
I don't know. Um, like you said, both are.
I liked the Aphelios from last game.
I did too.
I thought the Aphelios was good. We are gonna
There,
see the Janna
so
again.
it is a Maokai jungle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
The Janna I actually liked last game.
yeah. I felt that Janna was good at peeling.
hmm
Um,
Definitely.
especially when you have someone like Nautilus who wants to jump on you. That peeling from Janna is going to be really helpful. We are going to see a Fiora top lane.
Yes, yes.
Some
More 1v1
spicy,
laners, more 1v1s.
some spice.
We love it. We'll actually be able to watch people auto attack each other in laning phase this time. I mean, not that we didn't see it in the top lane last time, but now it's going to be interesting. Look, as Valpo like looking into these next couple bans, obviously Bethel is probably going to 5 ban Justin,
Yeah,
right? 5 ban that MF Jakimbo. Get rid. If I'm expecting another ban here, right? There's the Wukong coming from Valpo.
the
Wukong
Silas.
Wukong was a huge player in Bethel last game. Even if it didn't go their way, he had a lot of huge knockups. A lot of their fights that they won were engaged by that Wukong.
Yeah,
So it makes sense that ban there, and then Bethel finishing up the 5 ban, plus a little bit of a flex with the Silas top, making sure he can't take it again because they saw that it was pretty strong that last game.
yeah, definitely. It is going to be interesting to see what this last ban is going to be. It is going to be the Trundle.
Trying to
Um,
stop that jungle, but they're gonna pick up Volibear right after it. Um, Volibear into the Maokai. Not a bad matchup, honestly. I feel like
what is Volibear top? Oh wait, no, never mind.
we have
No,
Fiora.
sorry.
Fiora jungle,
Yeah,
yes. No.
no, I'm losing it. The last game fried my brain a bit. But we are gonna
Yep.
see the Azir coming out
Okay.
of Valpo.
We're gonna see the master combo, the big stepper Azir come onto the field. I mean, we love to laugh a little bit. Jakimbo loves to brag about his combos that he puts together with the Azir, being able to dash around, throw people around. And then here comes probably the oh
What are
oh
we getting? Shen,
oh
Darius,
oh.
Malphite,
Hold on, it's
Akali.
definitely not Malphite.
Yeah, I think
We
it's
we
gonna
know
be the
that
Shen.
Jacob does not like Malphite. There's the Shen
There's the Shen. Oh, in the
and a
instant
Lux on the
Lux for
Bethel.
mid. That's interesting. I
Lux into Azir. I like that pick.
You do?
Honestly, I like that pick.
Yeah, Lux really annoys me how she has basically her all every 3 seconds. So I mean, in these team fights, it is going to be the poke is going to be really really annoying for Valpo to deal with. Uh, but I mean, you get a lockdown on someone with the root, and you can combo that with the Nautilus and the MF ult, and you can really start to make some plays if you're Bethel here.
Yep.
Uh,
I think what we're
but on the
looking at.
same time, you got that Shen with that
Yeah.
R,
Yep.
that major shield. Um,
We're looking at a lot of CC here from both
yeah,
sides. I feel like you have MFE, Nautilus, Nautilus in general, right? And then Lux Q, right? And on Valpo's side, you have Maokai WR, you have the Caitlyn W, you have Janna, and you have Taunt from Shen, right?
yeah,
So seeing a lot of CC coming out this game. Eh, I want to kind of break it down by lane, right? So top lane, we have the Shen and the Fiora, right? I like the Shen pick, but I personally just feel like Fiora is just a better champ. I feel Shen is the smart idea here, right?
mm,
Going into this game, especially looking to peel for a lot of your other people. But I feel like just Fiora is just the true damage queen, right?
yeah.
There's not really something you can take there. What do you
A-
think?
And it's a scary thing if you leave this Fiora alone. If like say you're arguing to a team fight and you just leave Fiora alone on the sidelines, if she doesn't decide to like TP in, uh, that's really scary because she will melt towers pretty fast. Um, Also, you mentioned about the CC, the taunt. Fiora has the W, which if she times it right, she can actually end up taunting the Shen, and that can be detrimental to the
Mm-hmm.
Shen. Just having him stay there and the Fiora possibly getting a free passive hit on him.
Nope,
Um,
definitely. I mean, excuse me, sorry. I like cut you off with a cough there, but
a
man, it's it's a long day of League, man.
lot
It's a
of League
lot
of
a
Legends.
lot of matchups, a lot of kills.
Yeah,
Um,
this is the second series.
yeah. This is for the viewers that are just tuning in here. This is series 2 on the day for Valpo Esports. So not only are we feeling a little bit of fatigue, but so are our players as
Yeah,
well. I mean, we, if you play League of Legends, you know that sitting through like 2 solo queue games is a little bit tiring. So sitting through like 4 of them, 5 of them,
yeah. This is
uh,
game five, and the last two games have been 40 minutes, so
hey,
they've
this
gone
is
the distance.
this is a perseverance game. That's
Yes, it
what
is.
we're gonna label this. This is gonna be the grit, the fight of Valpo Esports to not fall asleep at their monitors while they play this game. I believe in them. Um, we're also getting like a little bit of a clash here with the JDG T1 game going on that series. Um, so a big day for League,
Yeah, big day.
honestly, right? We have the T1 JDG, we have the Valpo Esports 2 game series. League of Legends is winning today. I'll
League of
tell you
Legends
that.
is winning. And this morning at like 6 a.m.,
Mhm.
Dota was winning.
Mhm.
This is a day for MOBA.
Mhm.
Uh,
It's it's definitely a point and click kind of day.
it is a point and
not
click kind of.
not not too much aiming.
I don't understand Dota a single bit. I watched it and I don't understand a single thing I watch.
Why do you think I play League? I don't get what's going on.
Dota got a cool thing though, like that I think they should implement it on Worlds is like you hover over a champion like on the overlay on screen and it tells you their abilities.
Mhm.
They do some cool overlay stuff with Twitch. I think they should integrate that with League.
Yeah, no,
But anyway,
definitely.
back onto this game. It is gonna be yeah, interesting game. You do have like a lot of poke with the Caitlyn, the Janna, and the Azir. Really, so you're really focusing on that front line from the Maokai and the Shen. And then you just have a team that wants to get in your face with the Volibear and the Fiora and the Nautilus. And then you have Deluxe uh, pinging pinging
Yeah.
pixie dust
Hell yeah.
from afar, and you have the MF with
The
her
let
all.
there be light, and then boom,
Yeah,
halfway across the map, guns. Bye bye. We
yeah,
we love it. Especially just the pure scream that Lux gives out right as you hear that like "Ah!" and then boom, it's gone. It's over. So seeing kind of like hearing that go off in your head, Valpo Esports definitely has to watch out for that. Especially with all the CC that they have, I feel like this comp is very very tailored towards Lux.
yeah,
Um, because you can have Fiora solo lane, so you can have pressure in other lanes. You have like 3 forms of CC that make Lux R almost impossible to miss,
yeah.
right? Not to put any pressure on the mid laner from
Bethel.
Bethel. Exactly. But I don't know. I will be watching you.
Yeah, I think also the MF here is a power pick. She is super strong right now. I
Yep.
think she's a lot stronger than the Caitlyn.
Yep.
Uh, and especially late game. I think she is a menace. She can
Uh-huh.
one shot, especially if when she takes press the attack, you auto Q auto instantly. That's like half their health.
Yep.
And if you just have any CC or any follow up from your team, you instantly kill. And like you said, there's so much CC that uh, it's gonna be hard not to kill people.
Yep.
Uh, for both teams, I think. I uh, I mean, the last time it's conflicting because Caitlyn and Maokai are 0-2 in this series, right? So far, but I've seen Dreadful play Shen, and that was that man is nasty on the Shen. That man,
He is a little dirty. He
that,
gets a little stanky on the Shen, I'll tell you
he,
that.
he knows how to play some Shen and control the map. So
Hmm.
I think this is gonna be a good way to end the series. It's gonna be an interesting one. Uh,
Definitely.
and there is a lot of stakes on the line for this game too. Uh, if uh, if Manchester or Manchester that
Bethel.
was the Bethel, uh, depending on if Valpo win this decides what side they are on for playoffs.
Yep.
If they're going to be facing Anderson first round and on the Northern Ohio side of the bracket or on the other side of the bracket. So there's a lot riding on this game for seeding.
Definitely. I mean, we say that the pressure's on, the pressure is on, but I mean, we show up. We love it. We do our thing. We do our thing. We dance a little bit. We hit the gritty.
We
We
hit the
we
gritty.
we have a good time. Um, we might see an invade here from red side.
Yeah,
Uh,
with the Nautilus, you
yep,
always look maybe for. Yeah, they're already pinging it or
yep.
pinging something.
Here they come.
Yeah, here they come.
Here they go. We're gonna have the invade going on red side. They're
Yeah.
just gonna have another 5 point stance kind of coming in from Valpo, but
If you look at this Fiora though, if you look at her runes,
oh,
that is going to be an aggressive.
oh,
That is going to be an aggressive Fiora with the ghost. So look for an aggressive
what?
lane.
Ghost TP Fiora. You know what? I actually don't hate that. I not as in hate like I think it's bad because it's definitely good. I'm like you didn't take ignite.
Hmm.
Um, Taking ignite as a top laner, especially as Fiora, is just like you're a big meanie. You're a big mean guy. You know that. So with this Ghost TP, it opens up a lot of options. Obviously, the grasp being super strong for both top laners. We'll just have to see, right? Going into this match, Lux kind of dancing up top a little bit. Shockblade Shen, by far the best skin outside of the Surgeon. The like medical Shen,
Surgeon
fire.
Shin.
Shen, I can't say that 5 times fast. Surgeon Shen.
Also in 2020, if you bought it, it was given to medical the
Yep.
the medicals. So it's a very good cause.
No, definitely. I mean, you are supporting real people. Make sure go go support people in need. Go support
Yes.
small business. Go those people need your help.
Like right game, small indie company.
Literally. Yeah, exactly. Give me your money. I want your money. But no. There's a couple of shots here. We're gonna see in this mid lane kind of the dynamic that we're looking for. We have the Lux poke, but we also have the Azir poke, right? So, so it's gonna be just kind of a lane where okay, I'm gonna run this way, and then I'm gonna run this way, and then I'm gonna run this way, and I'm gonna throw my minions here, and then you can throw your E, and then we're just gonna completely like tango around each other until eventually someone comes and ganks the lane. Um, I don't really see much like Prio here. But if anything, it would probably lean on Azir's side, I would say. Azir
Yeah.
definitely has the stronger CSing potential, plus the like zoning that he gets. And it looks like Nautilus is gonna have a flash and hit here, and Volibear is gonna
Volibear's
have an
here.
early level 3 gank, a pull in on the Janna, and this is gonna be first blood going
Oh.
to the Volibear. A little bit of damage there, but definitely a quick clear coming from red side.
Yeah. De- like good call by Bethel to just clear blue side and then go straight for the gank.
Yup.
Uh, no real vision around there for Valpo, so uh, really easy uh, to um, to get that gank off.
Yep.
And really only sacrificing the flash from the Nautilus, but he does have Hex flash, so
Yep.
not really sacrificing too much. Only thing I would say is it would have been better if. Oh wait,
There's a big pull up again. The exhaust on the MF. But the flash coming out of MF as well. But there's Vector with the W probably queuing back in, and that's going to be a kill on the Nautilus going to Ordinal.
like I was gonna say, I thought the MF should have been the one that got the kill there, but Valpo does a good job to give their ADC the kill for Caitlyn to push that Caitlyn ahead.
Definitely. No, and I mean, the first kill going to Volibear as well, it's definitely going to fall off a little bit more than if it had gone to that MF. So having that kind of pressure now, being able to back by like a long sword or two maybe,
Oh my
gonna have a
goodness!
fight here. And we have another gank. This jungle has been everywhere, but we
That's
might get a kill for the Shen, but
Oh
no. So,
my!
oh, there we go. Um, Minions finishing up the kill. Dreadful being able to trade 1-for-1 with the flash taunt. Um, I mean, this jungle has been everywhere,
Yeah,
right?
this dude went down bot lane, got a kill, and then ran up top, and then gave Fiora a kill, which I think Fiora with a kill early is pretty scary.
That is definitely dangerous. I mean, it's like it's the same concept of having GP
Yeah.
with that Sheen, right? That first back bind Sheen coming back, really dangerous. But really, once she binds Divine Sunderer, it's just not gonna be a fun game anymore. You're just gonna have a little bit of a hard time.
I will say though, Dreadful is in a lot better spot than he was last game, top lane wise, when that GP got ahead. He At least the Shen does have a kill, and is up in CS.
Oh, he-
So not by much, but you take your small leads. Steamroller, gotta watch
and
out
there's a
here.
pull here. The vision going for on blue side just not being enough as Nautilus walk into that bush. They're just gonna disengage, get back. We're seeing the Bomby Cinder versus the Sheen, kind of like the different archetypes that we're building in this top lane.
Yeah.
And which one's gonna kind of like pay off early. And I feel like Shen gets a little bit of the advantage here because he's still able to sit in for that CS, plus the shield that he gets from his sword that he drops. Is pretty clutch against stopping those Fiora Qs as we see right there. And the grasp as well, being able to proc that, it's gonna give him this back. And there's a ton of blocks right
And
there,
here
but
comes the
Volibear is
Volibear
right
again.
back up. There's the taunt coming through, but the E coming from Fiora is just or the W from Fiora is just enough to stop Shen from getting that kill.
Yeah,
And
Shen not lucky enough to get a trade back this time.
wow, Fiora already having a bounty.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, League of Legends. I mean,
Interesting.
Hey.
And gonna get a plate here too.
yeah, I will
Actually,
not
two.
complain. Yeah, there's actually a huge wave for Fiora right here.
Dreadful missing out on so much too.
Just a lot of
Is he
damage.
gonna get
Will
3
he get
plates?
3 plates off this? He may die
Oh
for
my
it,
goodness,
but
he's not gonna
that's
die.
that's 3
Oh
plates.
my
Wow.
goodness, that's so tragic.
Okay,
for Dreadful.
now screw what I said. Yeah, she deserves the bounty.
Yeah,
Yeah, you deserve that. You earned it. Good job.
you earned it after you got it, but you still deserve it.
yeah. Don't worry. It's
League of-
okay. League was just predicting.
Yeah, they
Small
knew.
small indie company
Their
predicts
algorithm.
outplay. Let's go.
Oh, we do see something here on the mid lane.
Uh,
Oh,
the dash in, but the R
Oh.
throwing over the wall. Kobe. And
Oh,
the toss
nice
with the
flash.
coming out from
Good
that Lux,
flash.
being able to stay alive.
Good flash by the Lux there.
Yep, it looks like we have a little bit of
Oh,
an
that-
engage here in this bot lane. Steamroller probably going down here and not going to be able to trade as Misfortune pops the ghost to get away.
Yeah, like I said, this MF is absolutely insane.
Literally.
It's so strong right now. I think much stronger than the Kate. Not sure why Kate has been such a prio pick this series, but
I mean, she is good, don't get it twisted, but
Yeah.
just not in this series.
yeah,
I mean, we've seen it's just not worked out for any teams. And
Yeah.
it's going to be a pretty big CS diff here.
Yeah, Caitlyn is a very situational champ, I think, where you have the MF that fits much more into much more team comps. It scales a lot better, in my opinion, to the Caitlyn. I think the MF is just a better overall champion
Oh, for sure.
right now in the meta. But oh my,
I
we're
think.
gonna see something spicy go down here in the top lane.
Oh,
Are you
a
surprised
bit
to
of a
see the
dash.
volley bear here? Because
Hi,
I'm
Volley
not.
Bear.
Uh,
Hi.
I'm not.
This is
Dreadful come with the pings. He better be careful because they do have the volley barrel.
I mean, if they do dive this tower here, it looks like he's just gonna get out though on the recall. Nope, he stays.
Okay, if volley bear
He
has
stays. They may
oh
be able to
no,
dive. Looks like
don't
they're not gonna go for the dive. They're just trying to clear for
I,
Rift.
I don't think volley or Fiora had enough mana for that maybe
Hmm.
for her liking. So
True.
she's
True.
just gonna back and uh, uh, volley bear is just gonna get that herald.
Yeah. No. I mean, we've seen Volibear's just been getting around this map trying to give people priority here. Couple of unsuccessful ganks on Valpo Esports' side, and we're kind of seeing just a little bit of an early game difference because of that. 2K gold lead already going in with 10 minutes on this clock.
Yeah, pretty big for Bethel. Um, this Nautilus just being a little pesky little booger sitting in those bushes.
He's
Uh,
being a silly little guy, silly little fellow.
Gotta watch out if you're Caitlyn because or the Janna because one hook from that Nautilus and you are as you are in trouble. Oh, Dreadful is stealing the the Gromp, small victories, but
That
top,
Rift Herald drop top, taking that tower already.
yeah,
I, I
so much gold
definitely,
to Fiora.
I definitely don't think he won the trade, Gromp
No,
versus Tower, but
you take your small victories.
yeah, exactly.
You take what you can
Sometimes
get at this point.
you smile about the little things, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I like to imagine that Nautilus is just like a big kitty. As we see here, the Hex Flash over the wall and the R as well knocking up with the Misfortune. The Shen are keeping him alive as Shen comes in. You know how like,
remember how you said it was really hard to miss a Lux art?
yeah,
Lux just missed the art.
yeah.
That's quite unfortunate.
I mean, maybe I jinxed it, which hey, good for us, right?
Yeah.
Go Valpo! But I don't know. But you know how like in Overwatch, Wrecking Ball is just like this massive ball with a hamster in it,
Yeah.
right? That's what I imagine Nautilus is. I like to imagine Nautilus is this massive underwater, like deep sea creature legend. We're having a little bit of an engage here. On this Fiora, just kind of getting caught out.
She
Using the move
goes
speed.
out, so she should be good.
Yep. But I like to imagine it's this like deep sea like legendary creature, but it's actually just like a massive cat inside of it, and he just chills there.
That's terrifying.
He's so chilling. No,
He's
actually,
so chillin'.
he's so chill. It's like you know how Blitzcrank is a golem, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Same concept. It's just like like he's being controlled by something else. That'd be so sick. Just make a skin like that. You know how like Nasus has the groovy?
Yeah, yeah. A groovy Nautilus.
Yes,
That's what we
I
need.
would love Groovy Nautilus. I just want a happy skin for Nautilus. Nautilus is a funny guy.
We are gonna see a five man from Bethel coming down here to the Dragon to try to get it even one for one.
Couple of shots as well. It looks like Bethel may be able to take this dragon. The Maokai are coming out, but a huge Lux root as well, hitting that or and red team taking that dragon. Huge knockup by MFG Kimbo, but he does get caught out by that Fiora TP coming down, and Fiora is now running it back. Vector going down to the Fiora again. Dreadful being kind of forced in this middle here. Huge taunt going on, getting the kill on that Misfortune, but the root from the Lux stopping him. The exhaust coming back from that Janna may be saving Dreadful here. As Fiora picks up a triple kill on this bot side. Not what you were looking for.
No.
Triple kill, a 5-1 Fiora now. She could practically just run lane herself. Let's be real.
I mean, the number one thing Bethel had a problem with the first two games was a horrible early start,
Mm-hmm.
and having to claw back in the late game. They ended up being able to do it in game 1. Not so lucky in game 2. Got close, but I mean, compared to those 2 games, they are having a fantastic start to this game.
Oh, definitely. I mean, as we're seeing right here, plates are still up under 15 minutes, so Fiora just got another 3 plates. Like,
That bounty is 500 gold. She is 5-1 right now.
she is worth way more than 500 gold, I'm gonna be honest, but I have to, like, that's just because of her macro, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that her bounty should be bigger, it's just like, it's the way it is, you
Yeah.
know? Um,
I do have a bit of a pet peeve with how Valpo fought that dragon fight. The dragon is not really important, but yet you're committing so much to something that you don't need. Where plates are still up, and you see that 5 there. You have the whole map. You need to do something on the map besides tunnel vision on this one objective. And oh, we are gonna dreadful not having a tower to run back to. This is looking real scary. MF,
the MF
oh
but
my
a huge
goodness.
pull by Nautilus coming out the jungle.
Huge hook by Nautilus.
Just jumping out the blue. Go crazy.
Was
Go
that
stupid.
Core JJ? Oh my goodness.
He's kind of nuts.
That
He's
was
kinda nuts with
crazy. That was a crazy hook coming out of nowhere. Viber getting that kill too. So great play from Nautilus. Oh my.
And Valpo just looking a little bit disconnected here.
Yeah.
Now this guy's staring at that trap, just like, oh, oh man. We're just gonna get back to farming again. I mean, Fiora is gonna trade, trying to take that bot tower, before. I mean, 15 minutes is about to be up, so the plates are
Top
about to
plates
fall.
already gone.
Yeah.
They fall at 14.
I've lost my mind. I'm
But-
sorry, folks.
But Dragon does spawn in 2 minutes, and that's another Infernal.
Yep.
3 Infernals. It
We
just
do
seems
have-
like every series we get, it's the same soul. Last series against Manchester, it was two clouds. Now we get 3 Infernals.
Pretty much. I mean,
Which, honestly, Infernal for Bethel's comp is kind of nutty.
yeah, that's
with the
that's
Fiora?
really what they're looking for here.
That Fiora with Infernal and the MF with Infernal,
It's
kind
a
of
little
nutty.
Scary, a little bit.
Just a little bit
scare
of
me a little
damage.
bit.
But Bethel, looking to get this mid tower, should be able to get it. Do get that mid tower, that opens up the map so much. Only 1 tier 1 left. I mean, even with the poke, I mean, Jimbo can't really do much against that Fiora.
Yeah,
They are
'cause-
looking for this Rift Herald. The second Rift Herald. Oh, they're looking to maybe turn. The Fiora can back. She does back. She does have TP if they do need it.
Definitely looks like that. I mean, I don't see
If
them getting. It looks like there's gonna be a TP from behind. The Lux ult coming in, getting the damage, but Maokai taking that Rift Herald. We'll see if they can go pick it up, and he does sack himself for that Rift.
oh, but the Shen ult
Shen ult
doesn't
coming in.
matter. Oh my goodness, the Fiora is so fed it doesn't even matter.
Boom! There's a massive slam down. I mean, Emmett Jacumbo not even being in that fight, just kind of chilling in his own lane.
If he gets
I'm
his
doing-
oh my goodness!
He's insane!
Someone sign this man! Oh my goodness, he's just hitting these blind hooks. This dude can hit hooks. This is
crazy.
oh
I
my
don't know.
goodness. He's
did
hitting
they-
hooks out of nowhere.
What did he do? Oh, I know. I know what it was. JDG T1 series finished, so their support just came down to this game. They started playing for them.
He started.
That's crazy.
Sorry guys, carry us here.
Yeah, no, it was Kyria sat down in the booth and was just like, you know what, we're good, guys. I got
Yeah.
this. That's insane. A great hook. I mean, it's fun watching him.
It is. That was a great
As-
hook. They didn't get the kill, but so crazy hook.
as much as I feel bad because this is against Valpo Esports, you gotta respect good hooks when
Yeah.
you see good hooks, right?
Uh,
I mean, if we're getting back to it, right? Valpo Esports, what do you really need to do here to bring back in this game? What do you really need to get back here?
This cold lead is almost
It's-
9k.
Yeah, it's starting to get nasty by 17 minutes, and it's all on that Fiora and Volibear.
And this
MF
Bethel
also got
team
some-
is about to get their first Infernal Dragon, which is more damage,
Damage,
more
yeah.
damage, and
What is
that's
it? Was it like 4.5%?
I think something like that.
Boom! Sorry.
it's looking scary for Valpo.
I agree.
You gotta find a way to shut down this Bethel side and slow the bleeding. Whether it's trying to find a side a pick on the side through this Fiora, even if it's 5 people trying to kill this Fiora, getting that huge gold shutdown. Uh, but you just need to shut someone down.
Definitely.
Good stuff from Valpo dropping down that Herald top lane. But the Lux is going to TP. She needs to watch out. This is what I'm talking about. This is what Valpo needs to do. Got the
The
flash from
flash
her.
going out, the Q as well. Alright, dash in. Looks like this is probably just going to be a kill
Yeah.
on this Lux. I mean,
That-
getting the pop, but not really doing
Oh
much
my.
unless she... Oh, okay.
Okay, well,
She's still running, still running. No, Maokai. Oh.
but that's exactly what Valpo needed to
needed.
do.
Yep.
Is just get a pick. They need to start getting these picks on these side lanes to start picking them off to try to stabilize the game.
Oh, definitely. No, and I mean, you're going to see here, like every lead, Bethel does a good job at least controlling these kind of side lanes. We didn't get to see it much early game last couple games that we had because they were going down, but they played this early game so well right now that we're
Yeah.
going to be able to see them kind of take a little bit of an advantage here. If I'm Valpo, right, we have I'm looking for Caitlyn. The Shen ult is going to be big, right? But you really need Azir and Caitlyn to start getting in this game.
Yeah.
You can't really see much in their KP right now. Their involvement hasn't really been that big right now, so
Yeah,
they start.
Caitlyn and Azir are 2 champions that really need a lot of gold to start like becoming online.
Definitely.
And the way things are going is they're getting like so far behind in this Fiora and this Volibear and this MF are just pulling ahead and ahead that it's gonna be really hard for them like in this mid to late game to find gold, you know.
Definitely. I mean, we're not seeing much damage out of the Lexington. There's a huge knock-up and R coming from Misfortune. The snipe coming from Caitlyn, not really doing much there, but the R on Volibear being able to disable that turret. MF Chikimbo coming back in, trying to hit that backline. The flash over from Nautilus. The pushback from the Janna R as well.
That
the ghost
MF
coming out of the MF. Being able to shot the flash though, and the taunt coming from Dreadful, staying on him. We're looking for a Nautilus stop here, but Maokai R just holds it back. Another huge root from Nautilus being able to pull that. Dreadful just doing a lot of damage right now. Dreadful Ordinal teaming up together to be able to get that kill, and they're going to be able to turn this fight around with that Fiora being chipped to half.
That
And a huge dash in and R. We're going to see if Fiora can really turn this around. Lux getting that kill. And it looks like the Fiora.
Oh!
Almost bad for Valpo, but that is a 1K bounty going to Dreadful. And they're looking like they're turning this game around.
Yeah, that's big for Valpo. That's what they needed to slow the game down. Really, like, it kind of just like that's what they needed. I think that MF misplayed a little bit there, focusing so hard on the Janna where they're flashing forward and ghosting forward to try to get that kill. When when the Maokai was like 1 HP right next to her, easy kill, but they weren't going for that. But I feel like if they would have gone for that Maokai, the fight would have ended up different. But fair play to Valpo for capitalizing on a bad play and really trying to get back into this game.
Definitely. I mean, hopefully they can just try and keep those long engaged fights, because as we saw, if you give that Fiora time to like run you down, she's going to run you down. But in that kind of fight, right, that misplay that you talked about from that Misfortune, and just kind of splitting up Bethel, and it looks like
what
we
a
have
hook.
another great hook from Nautilus being pulled on this Dreadful. Dreadful is a little bit dangerous, but I don't think he can handle a 1v4 as the R from Lux comes out, getting the pick, and getting the shutdown, it looks like, but doesn't seem like there's any gold attached to that one.
And that's huge because Dragon is up in 15, so Dreadful does have the ult, so he can get in the fight as soon as he's up. But I mean, I don't think Valpo are going to contest this, and that will be soul point for Bethel. Also, at the same time, this Fiora is getting this bot tower uh, just for free. And
I mean, that's 600 gold right there.
yeah,
Boom.
uh,
She already has Bork. She already has Divine Sunder. She got the Tiamat, so probably going with the Ravenous Hydra next.
and I like what Valpo's doing here is usually we see them like trying to walk up and try to steal dragons like these, but
Ooh,
they
fancy.
did it. They they uh
I
they
gave it. I
backed
mean,
up.
they do have that one more. They have one more like chance at stopping this soul
Yeah,
point, right? Obviously, it is Infernal Soul again. So they have to at this point. But
yeah. But I feel like throwing yourself at a team fight for that soul point dragon would honestly just be the end of the game because you don't have Shen, who is a massive tank and even damage source for your team. With the Titanic Hydra,
definitely.
doing so much damage, bringing so much utility with the shielding and the taunts to the fight. Um, but Bethel playing this very, very well.
I mean, we're just gonna stall out a little bit here. Just waiting for our objectives to come back up. Baron up already. Um, Probably just trying to set up for it if they
Yeah,
can.
they're
Yep.
they're, they're
There's a
pinging
couple
for
of
the
pings. It
start,
looks like they're going to go and try and start this now.
and Valpo can't really stop this because look at where Maokai is. He's all the way at his Krugs at
Yep.
the bottom of the map.
They're gonna have to fight this without jungle, and there's another hook from the Nautilus with the R from the Misfortune. And even if they don't go for that drag, it was enough of a bait that they can run down. There's a kill on Dreadful.
And
Fiora
now you
dashing
really do
through
get
the,
Baron. Now you
yep.
do get Baron.
Now
Baron
that's
is free. With ADC and toppling down, this is about as free of a Baron as you can get
yep.
on the side of Bethel. And I'm gonna say it, the Fiora is scary, but a Fiora side pushing with a Baron is even more scary. Yeah.
That's even worse. I mean, at this point, you have to start playing defense right.
Yeah.
With Valpo, you have to take this next drag. I mean, you can't let it go soul pointer. That pretty much is game.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's in 3 minutes. So it's gonna be interesting to see in that time period what Bethel can do with that Baron buff.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to see the recall. It is going to be interesting to see if he has that Ravenous Hydra. He does. So that viewer's at 3 items now.
Yep.
Very, very scary. Yeah, you're just not going to want to fight him. But even the MF, getting that last whisper, that armor pen now, just against that Maokai and that Shen is going to go a long distance in these team fights.
Definitely. I mean, they're just pushing this bot. We saw the Fiora. Remember that Fiora still has TP up as well. So if she ever wants to just bounce, go to a different lane, she sees a lane winning, she's able to. Lux are kind of clearing that wave, trying to split up a little bit. And we might have an engage here in blue side jungle.
Yeah. And if you look at Caitlyn's build right now, it kind of just feels bad that you have to go LDR second item.
Yeah.
Because you're not really getting that damage that you need from the collector.
Oh, and that's a although, well, you're not getting the damage from that collector. That armor pen definitely does help against that Fiora right there.
But I don't know if he's planning on going IE third item still, or if he has to delay it for maybe that collector. But
the delay definitely would be dangerous.
now that MF does have a full item ahead of that Caitlyn.
Yep.
Super, super scary. Does have that LDR collector and that I just blinked on the mythic.
Kraken Slayer?
Kraken Slayer.
There you
I
go.
build it every single game.
It's okay. It's Rod of Ages.
Yeah.
Everything is Rod of Ages.
And
Rise main, stand up.
Rise main.
EQ QE QE EQ 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 EQ.
I've been playing Rise in draft really because he's just such a fun champion to play.
Right.
He might not be good, but he's a fun champion to play.
Hey, when Rod of Ages comes out, man, Rise will be actually like fun.
I mean, Rise is not even bad.
It's like it's there's the funny rise where it's like, yeah, you have fun because he's a funny champ, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the fun rise where it's like, I feel like I'm actually helping a team.
Yeah, I feel like with
What?
Rise you either do 20,000 damage in 10 minutes or 2,000.
Pretty much.
There's just no in between. You either smurf or you lose. Oh, that W by the Fury walking
Stopping that,
out.
that huge.
Oh,
Oh my
that
god!
rock
Oh no!
sending him to the gray screen.
What is
Oh,
going on?
oh, this game
There's
is
a double
over.
kill. Yeah.
Oh, they're
This
ending the
game is
game.
done.
This game is done. What was that Luxol? Oh my
Oh
goodness, that is filthy.
Although you have to be you have to be careful. Fiora is dead now.
Yeah,
Fiora did die to the fountain, but oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Steamroller.
he just that's what you get for me getting one shot last
Yeah,
game.
no, he just
from
he was like,
from
that's how it
the-
feels. That's
yeah,
how
that's how it feels to get one shot.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, when you have the Horizon Focus proc, you have the Ludens proc and the large with the Sork boots, oh my. Nautilus just looking to try and get out here, but Caitlyn's snipe is going to finish him there. It's going to be a little bit dangerous. Soul Point is up right now, so Valpo may be able to turn this here. Just trying to stop this MF. Might have a dash here with a taunt from Dreadful.
Yeah,
But if you notice,
I think if you're Valpo, you just gotta focus the dragon here.
you
gotta
focus
stop
Dragon, but
chasing.
there's also minions are taking turrets right now.
Yeah.
It is a little bit tough, but
Feels bad that Fiora TP mid instead of bot lane,
yeah.
but I mean, still, I don't think she.
I
Oh, she might be able to actually catch out someone.
I think.
Oh.
Yep. Here she comes. Is this a fight that you want to take?
I don't think so. Oh,
He still
oh
took.
my
I mean, he
goodness.
still got the damage from it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a
Oh,
thing
they're
there. The
TPing
TP
in.
coming in red. It looks like they're not wasting time. They're ready to move. You have the.
They're going mid lane. They want to end this
They're
game.
ending this game
They
now.
want this game
They
done
are
and
not
dusted.
letting this game finish.
They do not want a level 16 Shin TP on their teammate.
Literally, not giving them
Or
that
this-
shield.
Or this Fed giving a Fed a Zir time. Oh, yeah, they're like this
I
game
mean-
needs to end now.
Yep. If I'm Lux too, I'm just throwing those ults everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just having fun with it.
I mean,
Right.
she just threw it. It's already a quarter of the way done. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. It's
No.
at a 3-second cooldown.
There's not even a point of thinking like, all right, Lux art down, because it's gonna be up for next fight. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah. I mean, Zeri's E is a longer cooldown than Lux's ult. So
Yeah, true. I mean, it's already back up, so. Oopsies. Oh,
Oh,
there it
oh.
is. Oh. But
Oh,
because
yeah.
he used
Oh!
the no.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the double kill. I mean, we're just seeing.
I mean, they have the wave bot.
it's
They
overtuned
ha-
Champ
Oh!
City. It's overtuned Champ City.
They don't even need the
I
tower.
mean-
They could just go bot lane.
This is rough.
Oh!
This is rough. I mean, and that's probably going to be game right here. Volibear just going to take
Yeah.
this turret. And that is going to be the series. Bethel College winning against Valparaiso University 2-1.
Yeah.
In that game, we just saw a much better early game come out of Bethel, and then
Yeah.
being able to hold that.
They
lead.
had great late games all series, but the main problem they had the first two games was that early game.
Definitely.
That Volibear was so influential in the early game, going top to bottom,
He was
ganking,
sprinting.
ganking,
Exactly.
just doing so much for the team to push them ahead.
Yeah.
And they finally got that early lead, and they knew what to do late game, and they were just able to close it out.
Definitely. So I think that will be all for our two streams today that we had. Our first series against Manchester and our second series against Bethel College. I'm your host, Dikembe. I'm here with my co-host.
Keloids.
And we want to thank you guys for coming out. We want to thank you for all of the support, all of just the love that we get on our streams. And go Valpo. See y'all later.